Now's the time. See the signs. It's on the line. Once again, we gon' make it rain. It's on the chain. It's game on. Game on. Don't stop. Game on. Game on.
It's Game On. Presented by Bank of Hawaii.
And a very pleasant good evening from Simplify Arena at Stan Sheriff Center, where it's a rematch Friday as the third-ranked University of Hawaii Rainbow Warriors play host once again to the 10th-ranked Ramblers of Loyola Chicago. And this is Game On, presented by Bank of Hawaii for Rainbow Warrior Volleyball. Hi, everybody. Happy Aloha Friday. Scott Robbs, Kana'i Kana, James Anastasiadis will join us in a moment. And, of course, this is opening weekend for Warrior Ball 24, and things got underway 2 nights ago right here at Simplify Arena, Stan Sheriff Center, Hawaii, Loyola Chicago, and the Rainbow Warriors coming out victorious with a 3-set sweep over the Ramblers. There you see the numbers. Hawaii out-hit the Ramblers, out-dug the Ramblers, and out-served Loyola Chicago as well. So let's take a look at some of the highlights from that match. We start off with Parker Van Buren, the first-team All-American a year ago for Loyola Chicago. Led the way with 9 kills, but struggled hitting percentage-wise as Hawaii held him to an .094 hitting percentage. One thing about Loyola we noticed right away, they're big, and they are super big, and they are aggressive and physical at the net. They outblocked Hawaii 10 blocks in the 3-set loss to UH by the Ramblers as they gave Hawaii all kind of trouble. It also was the debut of the 17-year-old freshman Trent Rosenthal as the setter for Hawaii, replacing Jakob Tella, the reigning NCAA Player of the Year. Rosenthal, not only outstanding setting the ball, but serving as well. And how about Ileo Choi? The Ferreton graduate has been waiting and biding his time, and he came up big time in Wednesday's victory. A career-high 15 digs for Choi in the victory. And then, of course, leading the way for Hawaii was Spittles Hawkes. Hawkes, kind of like the, unofficial leader of this year's team. Hawkes with a match-high 16 kills from his left side position. And there you see Hawkes with the block as well. Hawkes involved throughout the match, helping Hawaii pick up the win. And Hawaii now 1-0 to start the season. So Kana'i, 2 nights ago, the debut, we kind of weren't sure what to expect. I don't know if any of us expected a sweep, but what were your thoughts or your analysis of Hawaii on night 1?
Well, I thought overall Hawaii had a great game, right? Statistically, a fairly average match for Hawaii in terms of their historical previews, right? But Alakai Todd, Eleu Choi, all the new faces that we're not used to seeing. Not statistically great match, but played with so much confidence, so much energy, and really just not letting the ball hit the floor, right? 43 digs for Hawaii, 15 digs for Eleu Choi, averaging 5 digs a set, right? We could feel the energy of a home opener, the grit, the determination. So overall, I thought Hawaii had a great first night.
High expectations for the young setter, Trent Rosenthal. Much has been made about the fact that he should be in high school right now, graduated earlier. Big spotlight, obviously. I'm sure he felt some butterflies. How do you think he performed?
So I think he really cooled down after that first set, got calm, collected his offense, and started getting everyone going efficiently. I think tonight we're going to see a little bit better connection between him and his middles, right? First night, still getting into the groove of things. I think we can expect him to get the middles going, but definitely a great player, definitely someone that has the potential to fill in for the shoes of Jakob Telle.
Well, as we all know, serving passing is the key to victory every night. For Loyola Chicago, it was their opening match as well. And really, that's what was the difference, was Hawaii won the serving passing. Ramblers with 14 service errors. John Hawks, we talked to him a little while ago, says we got to cut down on our service errors.
Absolutely, and that might be a little bit of nerves, right? This is probably the most electric arena to play in the nation, right? So a very new, unexperienced Loyola team. We see their potential. They're ripping balls in service lines before the game, right? So we can expect them to serve a little bit better tonight and give Hawaii a closer challenge tonight.
Yeah, I think we're all looking forward to this one as well. Still trying to figure out this Hawaii team and trying to figure out what Loyola Chicago will bring here on a Friday night. Well, the two gentlemen that will be calling the action. Our courtside, we throw it over to them. It's Kanoa and James.
That's right, James Anastasiadis. I'm Kanoa Leahy, and first off, good to have you here sitting courtside and borrowing you for the night here from the Corner Crew, James. But I wanted to get your take, your reaction to what you saw from this Hawaii team on opening night a couple of evenings ago.
I think it's probably what the people expected. A little bit of nerves, especially in that first set. There is a lot of chemistry to be built with this fairly new Hawaii team. We have 3 returning starters, but then we also have 3 new players on team, one of them being a 17-year-old who should be a senior in high school, Trent Rosenthal, and then 2 guys that have been waiting 6 years, if not 5 years, for this opportunity to be in that starting lineup, Eleo Choi and Alakai Todd. You know, even though they're veterans, they've played against some of the top players in that practice gym for multiple years. There is a different nerve that you get when you in that starting lineup inside a game where every point counts. I think the chemistry is going to build for this Hawaii team. And then for Loyola, for a fairly young team that they did an incredible job. But playing in the Stan Sheriff Center, like Kanai said, it's one of the most electric places in the country to play. We saw a little bit of nerves, but generally speaking, teams that come in here play way better the second night. I expect Loyola to come out fearless tonight, a lot more confidence, and I think we're in for a very exciting match tonight.
You mentioned Eleu Choi, and we showed that close-up shot of him. He provided a certain spark, and some of the reaction of the crowd to the plays that he was making, even just the sheer effort on some attempted plays, it was different. Talk about what he brought to that match the other night.
Hello, just like you said, just brought so much energy, and something that you'd expect from a top-level libero is to go for everything regardless whether he thinks he can dig it or not. And I think that's what we saw out of Eleo Choi last night. He ended with 17 digs, which is incredible for the first night opener. But what may have gone unnoticed, not a lot of balls went past him hitting the ground. He at least got a hand on everything and made it very frustrating for the Ramblers hitters to try and score.
Now, on the other side, the Ramblers did get a little bit of a boost. Look out, James, ball coming in there. The Ramblers did get a little bit of a boost themselves from their freshman setter, Cole Schobel. This is a guy who is from Southern California, and he almost looks a little bit like a left-handed Joe Worsley or something out there. But in that third set, he was able to help build that lead for Loyola Chicago that at one time was 7 points. Hawaii, of course, was able to sport that fantastic comeback. But what do you think this offense is going to look like here tonight with the expectation that he will start at the setter position?
I think Schobel had a much better connection with their hitters, but let alone he's also very offensive on the net, and he adds that for this Ramblers team. It's going to keep Hawaii's blockers on their toes a little bit more. And what I loved about Schobel, regardless being a freshman, growing up on the beach in Newport, probably played a lot of beach volleyball, he is fearless. He came out here and he looks, you would not tell he's a freshman the way he played last night. Coming in and adding 5 kills, but also running a very good offense with the Ramblers. It's really hard to tell that he came in as a freshman.
Hanaho rematch coming up of 2 top 10 teams. We will have first serve for you, but we'll send it back over to the Corner Crew. And you know what? They look a little lonely, the 2 of them. So, James, why don't you head over there and you can help them finish this pregame. That's right. All right, we'll see you in a bit.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. When we come back, we're going to switch from an indoor sport to an outdoor sport. University of Hawaii head baseball coach Rich Hill will join us here in the corner. Back at Simplify Arena, Stan Sheriff Center, Hawaii, Loyola Chicago, night number 2. Good look right there at Chaz Galloway, the senior out of San Diego. Big things expected from him this year. One thing he does bring to this team, he brings leadership and experience.
Over my career, I've been trying to become a better leader for the younger guys, and I felt like I was always the younger guy on the team and just looking up to a lot of the older players, but now I'm in that position and just trying to pass on, like you said, the culture and what we're about here in Hawaii has been like my main focus.
He's had a great career for us. He's really played in some big-time matches for us, and even though he has, like most teenagers, had some inconsistency in his performance, he's played well in big matches. He's played well when we needed him to, and we're going to really look to him this year to be more of a leader and watch him have a great senior campaign.
I mean, every year we go into it hoping to win the national championship. That's our goal, and we set the bar high, like Spirito said, but I think that's the same this year. Even though we have a lot of new faces, I think we're able to obtain that, and we're going to go for it, and I think we'll be there.
Well, let's take a look at some of the numbers from last season for Chaz Galloway, the senior out of San Diego. Played in every match just about and started 30. You see his overall numbers, his hitting percentage, as well as his blocks and his assists and stuff like that. But the one thing you don't see on there is his passing. I mean, he is that guy that steadies out the passing on that first contact.
Absolutely. I mean, we all see him get up there, flying high, crushing bigs, crushing the go ball. But what we don't talk about is the steadiness that he brings to that serve reception, that confidence, the supreme confidence that comes from his championship experience, that comes from his time spent in the USA men's national team. Chaz Galloway, extremely great passer and all-around player.
Chaz Galloway to me is just a big standout, and I don't think it's talked enough and how good he is. He's been a starting from his freshman year. He was starting in every single NCAA championship since he's been here. And I'll never forget, in my eyes, he really stood out, and I knew this kid was going to be crazy special when he hit over 600 against BYU in 2021, where they won their first national championship. He's an incredible player. He came in when I was a senior. He was a freshman, and it's just so exciting to see his growth over the years.
Kanai, you played with him a lot. What are some of the intangible things that he brings to the floor?
Yeah, he's got this cool, calm, always knows what's going to happen, believes that we're going to win, and he's just got this coolness about him, kind of like a swag almost on the court. And when you're playing next to him, it's just kind of like, all right, we got this.
You know, when you're the passing left side hitter, you're not expected to have a lot of offense, but he's a guy that can deliver offensively as well when needed.
He really can, and the thing that allows him to do that is his near 50-inch vertical. Chaz Galloway might not always have the most heavy arm, but he's well over the block a lot of the times, and he finds the open court and does an incredible job of just hitting at it.
Do you think this year with so many new faces, not new faces because they've been in the program, but maybe guys that don't have as much experience with him, it seems to me that he really wants to take on that leadership role?
Absolutely. I think he's taking all these new young guys under his wing, but also it's the fact that he's being pushed by guys like Keone Tim who are vying for their spot, right? That's forcing him to take a more leadership role, to take a more, I got to grind, I got to get this today, rather than just knowing he's going to play, which inevitably forces him to be a great leader.
All right, so keep an eye out for Chaz Galloway. He's been a steady force for a long time, like you said. It feels like he's been around forever. So keep an eye out, Chaz Galloway tonight. But let's look back to Wednesday. Kanai, tell us about the Hawaii stat leaders.
Yeah, so the first thing that pops off here, Spiros Chakas with 16 kills. Not the best hitting percentage compared to what he's used to because he's a second-team All-American. But some of these plays that he's making, unbelievable. And Alakaita and Chaz Galloway, decent kill percentages, but what I thought Alakaita did well is serve the ball, right? No service errors, 2 service aces, putting the pressure on the Loyola offense, and then Chaz Galloway, right? Supreme confidence, great passer, great leadership.
All right, and for Loyola Chicago, James,
we have Van Buren, who had an okay night, hit under 100%, but I think that was more on Hawaii's side. They did an incredible job slowing him down. And then Fabikovic, incredible talent, but again, Hawaii did an incredible job executing the scouting report, but did add 8 kills. And then Schobel. I think Schobel was the big standout for the Ramblers. He did a phenomenal job coming in that third set, added 5 kills as a freshman setter, and was just so much better connected with his hitters.
All right, time now to begin the countdown. It's brought to you by Heineken, a handful of minutes away from opening serve. So Wednesday night, first match for both teams. What do we expect in night number 2, Jimmy?
I think the Ramblers are going to come out with a little bit more confidence. They're going to be a lot more comfortable. Kanai, like you said in the first segment, the Simplify Stan Sheriff Arena is the most electric place in the country to play. It's nerve-wracking coming in here and playing for the first time, and especially a young team. I think they're going to serve a lot better tonight. Expect a great one.
What we can expect from Loyola, just like James mentioned, Cole Schobel absolutely balled last night. Coming in off the bench as a freshman, getting 5 kills, 9 assists. If you squinted your eyes, you might have thought it was the second coming of Jakob Telle.
Well, how about on the Hawaii side? We talked to Charlie after the match, of course. Everybody was curious about Tread Rosenthal. The freshman said, he said some of his locations were off I would imagine he'll be a lot more comfortable here tonight.
Definitely. I thought he set his pins really well. One thing that Coach Wei did mention is that in the past, Tread has never had middles like these Hawaii middles, like Guillermo Voss or Nurser, right? So he now has the option to set them from the 10, 12-foot line. I think we'll see more of that tonight.
And I think, he got the nerves. One of the youngest players in the NCAA right now. Those nerves are gone. Now he can play a lot more comfortably. And I think he did a great job last night for a home opener for his first game ever in college. As he builds that confidence, we're going to see a very lethal Hawaii team.
Do you see him opening up the offense a little bit? I mean, I understood he relied pretty heavily on Spittles in night number one. I think anybody would. But do you expect to see maybe some tweaks here in the second night?
I think definitely. And again, as he grows as a player, as he grows more comfortable with this team, we're going to see that big. We're going to see that middle offense. And as Alakai Todd gets more comfortable as well, you're going to have that opposite option. I think Alakai Todd's going to have an incredible season. For a home opener, did a great job keeping his cool, and now I'm excited to see the confidence tonight.
Absolutely. Just like James mentioned, we're going to see a little bit more middle bick out of Tread tonight.
All right, look forward to that. These two experts will be back at intermission. But coming up next, the anthem, Hawai'i Mānoa, and then the opening serve with Kanoa and James calling all the action, Hawaii and Loyola Chicago.
Happy Aloha Friday, and welcome to another exciting evening of Warrior Ball 24. Volleyball fans, please stand for the singing of the national anthem and Hawai'i Mānoa. And fans, please remove your hats. Veterans are encouraged to render a hand salute. Singing tonight is a long-time dynamic co-host of Hawaii Stars since the beginning in 1993 and host of the annual Merry Monarch Hula Festival in Hilo the first week of April this year. 43 years for this singer. He is a graduate of Kamehameha schools and is a man of many talents, appearing in roles in film and television. He started his career as a fire knife dancer, singer in the popular Al Harrington show. But the biggest role, fans, is his being a father of 3 incredible University of Hawaii graduates. Volleyball fans, please welcome to the Simplify Arena here at the Stan Sheriff Center, making an appearance on Aloha Friday of all days, Kimo Kahuano.
Who say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the rampart Mekaihe Makualani e Kamehameha e Nakawae Pale Mekaihe. Happy Aloha Friday! Boom, boom!
Ladies and gentlemen, on this Aloha Friday, give a nice round of applause, Kimo Kahuano.
Nice job by Kimo Kahuano. Good crowd on hand for this Friday night affair. Hawaii and Loyola Chicago out of the MIVA, the rematch. Both teams opening up their season on Wednesday. Hawaii with a 3-set victory over the Ramblers. Hawaii hoping to make it 2 in a row. It's time now to meet and greet the starting lineups.
Aloha ahi ahi. Good evening, everyone. The Rainbow Ohana welcomes you to Simplify Arena at Stan Sheriff Center on the campus of the University of Hawaii in majestic Manoa for tonight's NCAA men's volleyball contest, matching MIVA member, the 10th ranked Loyola Ramblers. versus the reigning Big West champions, your third-ranked Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Introducing the Loyola Ramblers starting lineup. At outside hitter, 6'4" freshman from Newport Beach, California, number 7, Jake Reed. At libero, 6'1" junior from Carlsbad, California, number 12, Matt Oakley. At opposite, 6'9" junior from Cross Plains, Wisconsin, floor captain, number 14, Parker Van Buren. At center, 6'1" freshman from Costa Mesa, California, number 16, Cole Schobel. At middle blocker, 6'10" junior from Franklin, Wisconsin, number 17, Dean Meyer. And middle blocker, 6'4" senior from Glen Ellen, Illinois, number 18, Jimmy Meinhardt. And at outside hitter, 6'6" freshman from Czechoslovakia, Czech Republic, number 28, Daniel Fabikovic. The assistant coach is Lindsey Brown. Associate head coach, Ali Keohoho. Head coach for the Ramblers, John Hawks.
My city wherever I go.
And now, meet and greet the starting lineup for your Hawaii Rainbow Warriors! And outside hitter, 6'3" senior from San Diego, California, number 1, Chaz Galloway! At libero, 5'7" junior from Waialae, Oahu, number 5, Eliu Choi! At middle blocker, 6'9" sophomore from Indianapolis, Indiana, number 8, Kurt Neusterer. At center, 6'8" freshman from Manhattan Beach, California, number 13, Trent Rosenthal. At opposite, 6'9" senior from Kailua, Oahu, number 14, Alakai Todd. And middle blocker, 6'7" senior from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, number 21, Guilherme Voss. And at outside hitter, 6'4" senior from Nea Smyrni, Greece, floor captain, number 6, Spiros Hakas. The assistant coach is Zarku Ponofei and Chad Giesman. Associate coach Milan Zarkovic. Head coach for your Rainbow Warriors, Charlie Wade.
The third-ranked Rainbow Warrior volleyball team rang in the new year with a straight-set home victory over number 10 Loyola Chicago the other night in front of a midweek crowd of almost 4,500. Hawaii senior Spiros Hakas led all attackers with 16 putdowns, while 17-year-old freshman setter Tread Rosenthal debuted with 32 assists, 2 kills, and 2 aces. Up next, the Hanaho rematch between the Loyola Chicago Ramblers and the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. And with that, we welcome you inside Simplify Arena at Stan Sheriff Center next to James Anastasiadis. I'm Kanoa Leahy. James, take us through the Kaiser Permanente keys to the match.
For Hawaii, they're going to have to just keep building that connection with the freshman Tread Rosenthal. And for the Ramblers, 14 missed serves on night one's a little too many. If they keep their serve in, they're going to have a much better night.
It went 3 a couple of evenings ago, although Loyola Chicago had built a 7-point advantage in that third set, only to see Hawaii storm back. And the Ramblers, want to make night 2 here a much more competitive one. And it will be Cole Schobel who gave them a spark off the bench from the midpoint of that second set on the other night. He gets the start at setter, but just like 2 nights ago, Spiros Hakas able to get the festivities started with the kill. So the first point is on the board. And the Hawaiian Financial FCU starting lineups scroll at the bottom of your screen. Same first rotation for the Rainbow Warriors. Meanwhile, we mentioned the change on the side of the Ramblers with Cole Schobel at setter. And he goes to the middle. Jimmy Meinhardt's touch shot is dug up by Eleu Choi. Guilherme Voss also dug up. So the Ramblers the other way. Parker Van Buren lights that one aflame. He had 9 kills, hit under 100 the other night with 4 digs and 5 blocks. But a 6'9" redshirt junior who head coach John Hawk says is just an absolute beast on the opposite side, although he put that one down from the outside spot.
I think Van Buren didn't have the night we'd expect on the first night. I think we're going to see a lot more action from him tonight, and the Ramblers are going to need him.
This guy had a night. Daniel Fabakovic, just a true freshman. Now, also hit under 100, but he had 8 kills, and there were stretches in that match where it looked like he was a force that was difficult to stop.
He really was, and I think Fabakovic kind of had what a lot of the Ramblers had on night 1, which it was a little bit nerves. Again, Simplify Stan Sheriff Center, hard arena to play in, but again, they came out a little bit more comfortable tonight.
Well, Spiros Hakas, 2 swings, 2 kills. I mean, what can you say about this guy, the 6'4" senior from Neo Smyrni, Greece? 16 kills the other night, hit 281, and when Hawaii needed points and sticky rotations, as usual, he was the guy.
Spiros Hakas is a special kind of player, and what I love about him is that he's not flashy. He doesn't do anything out of the ordinary. He just plays very good and smart volleyball. Very athletic, although he sometimes doesn't look like the most athletic guy out there, but he does take care of what he needs to take care of.
Fabakovic with the touchdown there, his second kill. As you take a look at John Hawks, the 2023 MIVA Coach of the Year, the first Loyola coach to win that honor in his first season. As Alakai Todd caught the sweet spot right there. And we're tied again here early in set number 1. Alakai Todd, it was good to see him, and this opportunity to emerge now as the starter, the main guy here at the start of the season at the opposite position. Had 7 kills, hit 130. 8 digs, so flashing some defense out there. We saw a couple of diving saves. He was sprawling with that 6'9" frame.
He really is, and that's the exciting thing about volleyball nowadays. Back when I was playing, these 6'9" guys, maybe not the most offensive, but if you look at the average height on the court right now, probably close to 6'7", and we had 45 digs across the board last night. It was super exciting volleyball because you don't get that too much from men's.
Well, on cue, you had G. Voss with the save, and Hawaii transitions to Kurt Neuster for the put down. So you got all kinds of big men laying out here on the Terraflex.
What an incredible move by Guilherme. And again, we're just seeing a lot more scrappy defense from both sides. One-hand sprawls, doing an incredible job, whatever they can, just to get the ball up.
Well, it's early, but no hitting errors for either side. Hawaii starting off hitting 571. Loyola Chicago 429 on its side. And an ace by Guilherme Voss. Hawaii had 6 of those a couple of nights ago. And as you take a look at Charlie Wade, in his 15th season, the win the other night was number 270 on his ledger. And he's got this program rolling. 4 straight appearances in the national championship game.
He really has, and it's been super exciting to be a part of, but also see the continuation of this Hawaii team grow. And I think they've really built a culture, and Charlie Wade's done an incredible job with this team of building a culture that's going to stick. It was a long time coming, but it has obviously worked.
Parker Van Buren going long on that swing. So 4 straight points here for Hawaii. 6 serving 3. Set goes middle, and that one, a nice little wrist away by Dean Meyer. Nicodemus Meyer, 6'10 junior from Franklin, Wisconsin, at 6 kills. He had 545 the other night. And you see him giving a little bit of a smooch there to the dome of his setter, Cole Schobel. I mean, you talk about a gesture of a thank you. That's a lot of gratitude right there.
Men's volleyball, you know, there's always going to be that different chemistry that you'll see in other sports.
Malachi Todd with the roll shot. Little ad-lib there, and Tread Rosenthal, who was off the playing surface, was able to still put it up there for Todd to at least do something with it, and he gets the put down. 7 serving 4 here early. So here is Todd, the 6'9 senior from Kailua out of Punahou. Outside set, Pavakovic is blocked back. Loyola still with it. They go back row, and a nice looking hammer by Jake Reed, who gets the start tonight. Came off the bench the other night, but another one of these Southern California guys, 6'4 freshman from Newport Beach, and he showed some stuff on Wednesday.
He really did, and what I liked about Jake Reed, slightly undersized as an outside, standing at 6'4", and again, young freshman, but what he did an incredible job of is find the block last night. He got a lot of kills tooling the block instead of just finding the court.
How are you going to stop that? Spiros Hakas launching off of the trampoline. And it is 8 serving 5, and he is in his bag here to start this match.
It's just exciting to see Hawaii really establish the BIC and be one of the most efficient and effective BIC teams in the country. It's something that they've worked on in the gym a lot, and it's just exciting to see it in action.
Oh, the pass tight to the net. We had a joust up there, and Hawaii wins it. Curtin Neuster was standing tall, and he gives a little flex for his mates in the middle of the floor.
Kurt always playing with some swag and just a lot of confidence. It's exciting to see him get this starting position. Very hard worker. And again, he was one of those recruits that was super last minute. Charlie was walking across one of the lake courts at the AAU National Tournament, and he saw Kurt get up and block the ball and was like, who's that guy?
Well, they called that one in. Just tagging that far sideline. Jake Reed with another kill. Yeah, Charlie Wade, he's known in terms of his recruiting to not leave any stone unturned. And you're right, even at the last moment, getting a guy like Neuster, who now is one of his starting middle blockers. That's just how it works sometimes as Meyer goes out on the serve. Service error is an issue for Loyola a couple of nights ago. They had 14 of them.
They did, and again, you're always looking for that 1-to-1 ratio. 1 service ace for 1 error. 14-4, that's just a little bit too many. You're already giving an entire half set away. It's really hard to come back from that.
Neuster gets the serve in. Pass was tight to the net, and a net violation is going to go against Schobel. And it looked like he had caught the Hawaii front line a little off guard, but the net violation gives the point to the Bows anyway. Timeout, Ramblers. And welcome back. Don't miss a second of the action. Watch Spectrum Sports on the go. The Spectrum News app has the local sports you love and the news and weather that matter most to you. You can download today on the App Store or Google Play. Well, Hawaii out to an 11-6 advantage here in the opening frame. And you were talking about the serving, the service errors that bit Loyola Chicago in a big way the other night. For Hawaii, they had 6 aces to just 5 service errors. They served at a 93% clip inbounds. And Charlie Wade said after the match, he said, if we go above 90%, I believe we will win 100% of the time. And really, as that one is pounded down by Jimmy Meinhardt, if you look at the game of men's volleyball at every level, above 90% on a consistent basis is like unheard of.
It really is, and he's been saying it for years. Charlie Wade, a very big stats guy. And again, a lot of different coaches have different theories. We know at UCLA, they green-light it every single time. It worked for them towards the end of the season. They had an incredible season, win the national championship. But again, they served inbounds at 92% that game. And the hardest thing about doing that is serving inbounds 90 plus, but also effectively.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to take too much off your serve that becomes too easy for the other team to be in system. That's where those repetitions are really going to come into play.
Yeah, no, these guys are still spinning it from the service line and getting it in. That's a killer combo. Here's Todd on the D set. Dug up there by the libero, Matt Oakley. Outside, here's Reed. He gets blocked back. His first non-kill on a swing. And that one is dug up by Todd. So high ball outside, Hawkins, roll shot over, triple block, and a diving pancake save by Oakley. Reed again. There's Choi on Hawaii's side. Over on two goes Tread Rosenthal. And he gets the point.
The really exciting thing about Tread as well, he is so big, and again, maybe not a lefty like Jakob Tell, but he is a threat at that net. He's reaching at a very high contact point, and he's able to get those kills as well.
Yeah, he's listed at 6'8". Charlie says he's probably closer to 6'9", maybe even above that.
He is, and again, for 17 years old, he doesn't look like your average 17-year-old.
No.
He is definitely a lot more built.
Good serve there. The set goes to Reed, and there's Rosenthal on the dig. It drifts over the net and out of play for a Loyola point. The other thing, when you look at Tread Rosenthal, the size of his hands. I mean, he has frying pan-sized hands.
He really does, and that definitely allows him to have that incredible setting touch. And as you can see, as he's setting, it almost looks effortless. The ball just flickers out of his hands like that, set to Guilherme.
I mean, that was right on cue. You can see Rosenthal, and it is basically a lateral to G. Voss in the middle. And now the middle hitter connection, it had its ups and downs the other night, but that one was on the money.
It was a perfect set. But again, as he gets to play and practice more with these middles, the connection will come. It's the hardest set to have in men's volleyball, is finding that connection with your middles, because it's the fastest one. It needs to be perfect.
Kovic gets his third kill. Right now, Loyola led by Jake Reed, who has 4 kills, no errors, hitting .571. Hawaii led by Spiros Hakas, and his 3 kills, he's hitting .500. So some good offense here so far from either side. 3-point advantage for the Rainbow Warriors. Rosenthal goes outside, Galloway up the ladder and down the chute. Well, the boosters, they have been there from day one for this guy.
They really have. And again, Chaz Galloway, he was a freshman my senior year. It's been so exciting to see his growth. And he's a very special player. Not a lot of players can say that they've played in 4 NCAA championships as a starter, starting your freshman year. And again, I seriously think he hasn't even been close to his ceiling yet. He has a lot more to prove.
Right side, this is Van Buren. And that one right down the alleyway, just sort of caught in between Rosenthal and Hakas. And Van Buren gets his second kill. So here's Parker Van Buren, the 6'9" redshirt junior from Cross Plains, Wisconsin, in his 4th year with the program. In the offseason, actually trained on the left side because they wanted to work his defensive skills a little bit.
It definitely always helps to work all kinds of positions, and what adds, especially in the oppo position, is being able to have 4-man serve receive against tough jump servers.
Oh, that's called in off the block. Charlie Wade standing right there, arguing the point, and I think we're going to see a challenge. It would be a kill for Olakai Todd if this gets reversed. It would be a roof for Nicodemus Meyer if it does not, and we have our first challenge of the evening. The officiating crew, Wayne Lee, the R1. He's atop the ladder on the near side. Dixon Chun will be performing the review here as the R2. Kevin Chun and Hunter Heleniak are the 2-line judges. And what do you think here, James? Looked like that may have been a hair long.
That looks out to me, and from our angle sitting over here, I believe it was out. But again, it's so hard to call sometimes because that ball is traveling at such fast speeds that unless you are perfectly looking at that line, it's hard to really catch it, but that ball looks out to me.
Now, what's interesting is we have our Spectrum Sports camera angles, which previously, for previous years in the replay, would be shared with the officials. We are no longer sharing those replay angles. They are running their own DV Sport camera system in here. So we'll see how that impacts some of these replay reviews and calls, because that angle right there seemed to be fairly conclusive. You could see a little strip of green between the ball and the end line. Not sure if they'll have the same benefit as far as the angle is concerned on the DV Sport monitor.
I agree with you, and it's exciting with all this new technology. We're kind of seeing the game change a little bit at the national level. They only have one referee, and again, I think everyone in the gym knew that that ball was going to be out of bounds. And an incredible swing by Alakai Todd. It's exciting. I think he's playing with a little bit more confidence tonight, but again, good, smart, high swing off that block.
Yeah, good to see Alakai Todd playing effectively as Hawaii gets the point. He gets his third kill, and they get to 15 first. So it goes from 14 to 12 to 15-11. Timeout on the floor. Hawaii in front. The numbers presented by Long's Drugs. The number is 29. That is the number of victories for Charlie Wade's University of Hawaii men's volleyball team last season, which was a program record. They were 9-1 in the Big West, which was tops in the league. They were Big West tournament champions again. Lost in the NCAA championship to UCLA in 4 sets, but the 6th NCAA tournament appearance for Charlie Wade's team in the last 9 years, and as mentioned, 4th straight trip to the final. They won 2 of them over the course of that span. As out of the timeout, Loyola gets the point back, courtesy Daniel Fabukovic, 6'6" freshman from Czech Republic.
Fabukovic is doing an incredible job here early in this game, and we're seeing the Ramblers go to him a little bit more and relying on him, not just Van Buren tonight.
And the service error. Number 2 in that category for Loyola gives the point to Hawaii. 16 serving 12, and now Chaz Galloway retreating back to serve. 6'3" senior from San Diego, California. Good to see him getting All-American recognition a year ago. Honorable mention as well as another first-team All-Big West selection.
He's just climbing up the ladder with that one. Started with honorable mention, got second team last year, and I think this year will be the season we might see that first-time All-American.
New setter out there for Loyola, Ryan McElligott, the 6'5" sophomore who started the other night there on the set but wasn't able to connect. He was looking at Miller Truby on the opposite side. So some unforced errors here for Loyola Chicago, and Hawaii up by 5. However, the service error for Galloway.
Loyola looking like they're trying to run a little bit more of a 6-2. That way they have the presence of an oppo and that out-hitter position in the front row at all times. I think we're going to see a couple more subs from the Ramblers tonight.
Rosenthal has to chase down that pass, and the set goes over the net. And that's going to be a point for Hawaii. They're going to say that Hawkes was able to push it off of the hands of Truby. And so a nifty, savvy veteran play there by Spiros Hawkes as Keone Thim, perhaps the most popular service sub in program history, now comes in to serve.
Put your helmets on, because I think we're going to see a very fast one. And again, just the hard work that he's put in to get to this point has been incredible.
And he serves it long. That was something that he's been working on and did such a great job of the other night. He didn't miss a serve and was still able to ramp up the velocity. Had a service ace the other night, got the crowd roaring. Really sparked that Hawaii comeback in set number 3. Here's Truby with the southpaw serve. Good pass there. Choi and Galloway. As if he rappelled down from the rafters. Just hanging and banging. And Hawaii up 5 again.
Just incredible. The way that Hawaii's able to run that big. Chaz Galloway from the back row. He hit that near the 4-foot line, leaping at least 6 feet to that ball. It looks like he hit it in the front row.
That's unbelievable. Here's Rosenthal now to serve. A great serve. An ace.
It's very impressive to think that Rosenthal, until 3 months ago, was not a jump server. And that's something that you'll see in men's volleyball NCAA. And I know it's something Charlie pushes for. They only have one float server on the court, and that's Guilherme Voss. But everyone else, if you have a very effective jump serve, 65 plus miles an hour, you're going to put another team in a lot of trouble.
He's the starting setter for the U.S. Junior National Team, was granted the best setter recognition at the U19 Pan Am Cup in both 2022 and 2023. Was also the MVP of that tournament in 23 as Choi was able to get the platform on it, but that was more out of self-defense than anything else, because that was an absolute crush by Reed.
What I love about Reed's style is he is fearless. Again, it's not easy coming in as a freshman playing against the runner-up NCAA champion from last year and come and electrify the arena with your play.
Well, speaking of crushes, Spiros Hakas straight down to the floor. 21 serving 15. Hawaii has been in control here for the most part in this first set. And how about the Rainbow Warriors have yet to commit a hitting error?
Not only no hitting errors, but also hitting 684. Those are numbers that we saw them start off the season with last year with the 3 starters that left. So I think Hawaii has a very special team in front of them.
Service error, however, is their 3rd. Again, they only had 5 of them total the other night. So I think Charlie's watching that stat line closely.
He is, but I think we're seeing Hawaii go a little bit more after it tonight. The service speed's definitely a little bit faster than we saw last night. Guys kind of going after it. Maybe they're testing their limits tonight, allowing them to see where they're going to be for the rest of the season.
Well, and circumstances dictate, right? If you're up 6, then maybe you can ramp it up a little more, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Here's Galloway. Dug up 2-hand style by Reed. He gets the set from the back row. Dug up by Rosenthal. Voss on 2!
What an athletic play by Guilherme on that one. Crazy hard to hit a ball that comes right over your right shoulder, especially right off a dig. You got to react so quick to this ball, and he does an incredible job of just turning, seeing where the ball is, 180-degree turn, and putting that ball away.
Guilherme Voss with his 2nd kill. Welcome back. Let's check out tonight's Hyundai head-to-head stat line. You see the offenses here pretty good on the Loyola Chicago side. 13 kills, 4 errors, 346, nothing to be ashamed of there. But Hawaii, no hitting errors so far. 14 kills, hitting 667. And Kai Taylor in and back to serve, the 6'2 redshirt frosh from Costa Mesa. So stumbling as he tried to occupy his position on the floor. The hit came to the other side of the court, but Parker Van Buren getting the kill regardless. His 3rd here of this first set. 17 serving 22. Van Buren, 2nd team ABCA All-American last year. And he gets the ace.
Van Buren looking a lot more comfortable here tonight, and we're seeing him do a much better job of swinging higher than he was last night. Hawaii did a good job of slowing him down, having him hit under 100, and tonight we're seeing a lot more effectiveness from his swinging and his serving.
And this is a guy who averaged over 4 kills per set last year, was 5th in the country, and then after the ace, sends it out. And so Hawaii closing in here, 23 serving 18, and Alakai Todd getting ready to serve. John Hawks brought his team out here on the 30th, so they spent the New Year's holiday here in the islands. And they've done it up. They've gone to a luau on the North Shore. John took his family on a evening catamaran cruise. The solo stop, Trevor Rosenthal says, "Don't tread on me." And Hawaii has aloha ball here in the first.
Incredible move by Trent Rosenthal out there. And again, standing at close to 6'9", he is up and amazingly over that net, not allowing the hitter to have a lot of options.
And the finger wave, Dikembe Mutombo style, aloha ball for Hawaii. And the block is up. They returned it to sender. Curtin Neuster getting the most of that one. And a block party to close set number 1 for the Rainbow Warriors. They do not commit a hitting error in the first frame, hitting 667 with 3 blocks, and they take it running away. Time now for the Hawaii Honda Dealers highlight reel. And the Mānoa Roofing Company making an appearance, especially on those last 2 points in set 1, James.
They really are, and they're out-blocking the Ramblers 3-0, considering the Ramblers took them 10 10 blocks last night to 7.5. The Manoa Roofing Company is definitely out, and a lot of that has to do with the scouting report. And let's talk about Kaponofe's second season with Hawaii, doing a very good job. And again, he was one of those people that stepped in and helped turn around this program. He's a big reason for the culture that they have here tonight, and I think he's doing a very good job stepping in and filling in big shoes that we had Joshua Walker a couple of years ago.
Yeah, Kaponofe got married back in October to his wife Tessa, and he's had a big year, man, joining the University of Hawaii volleyball coaching staff, and of course the beautiful wedding that he was able to enjoy with Tessa in October, and here we go. Now year number 2 in the Fay era.
I was at that wedding, and what a beautiful wedding. It was incredible. We had so many veterans come back. Jennings Franciscovich, Hendrik Moll. It was super exciting to see all of them. And again, Kaponofe is doing incredible things out here.
Well, that's interesting, James. I didn't receive an invitation to that wedding.
You got to talk to Kapono about that one after. Brian was there.
It must have been a really intimate thing. I'm sure. That's probably what it is. Tread Rosenthal getting ready to serve. No, congratulations to Kapono. Yeah, doing a great job. Charlie Wade has been singing his praises as far as how he just fit in seamlessly on this coaching staff as Rosenthal sends it long here to start set number 2. Again, Hawaii playing as efficiently as you possibly can, really, in that first set offensively. 14 kills, no errors, hit 667. They did commit 6 service errors, which by the standard they set 2 nights ago is a fairly high number.
It is, but again, like you mentioned in that first set, it's very optional. What an incredible swing by Spiros Hakas. His ability to just sky, it amazes me, and he's doing such a good job of keeping that ball high and not really bringing it into the block, but over the block.
His ability to contort his body to change the angle and widen his fan, so to speak, is really unmatched, I think, in large part in college volleyball. He has 6 kills, no errors on his side individually. Here's Van Buren through the block. Sliding save there by Rosenthal. So it's Hakas to Galloway. And the 2 high flyers connecting on the assist and kill and give the save to Tread.
Yeah, and it's always exciting to have 2 outsides that have shared a lot of time on the court together. And again, it's the outside to outside connection here, and Chaz Galloway doing an incredible job finding the outside hand of the setter's block.
Oh boy, that was a laser beam on the serve. Reed going high hands and getting the touch. Reed, I think moments ago you had Spiros Hakas who took on that set as opposed to having the libero say Eleu Choi. Was it just one of those situations where closest to the ball wins?
The dig was into that 10-foot line. And again, there's a lot more comfortability setting with your hands than there is trying to bump set it. There's a lot more accuracy when people step in, have that ball perfectly over their hands. You're allowed to guide it a little bit more. There's a lot more inefficiency when we're bump setting, especially on a high dig like that last one.
And there are some limitations to the libero using his hands, like you said, if in front of the 10-foot line. So as Guilherme Voss gets another kill in his stat line. 3 kills now in this match. And the jump floater. Right side, here's Van Buren. Roll shot. And a little bit of a campfire moment there for Hawaii defensively.
Van Buren doing an incredible job there. Came in a little bit early, noticed the set wasn't perfect, took a little bit off of that. And I think that's something that the Ramblers are kind of hurting from this weekend. They don't have their starting setters in. But again,
here's the middle set to Kurt Neusterer, and he gets stuffed solo style by Dean Meyer. And Loyola jumps in front. That's their first block of this match. You were referring to Dan Mangun, who is the incumbent starting setter for Loyola. He is coming back from an injury, but just not quite ready for action here this week. As Alakai Todd caught it flush. And he's got 4 kills, no errors, and playing with some confidence.
Alakai Todd doing an incredible job here tonight. And again, I think we're seeing a little bit more heat behind his arm swing tonight. He's playing a lot more confidently and not scared to hit on not perfect sets.
Lasted long. Alakai saying after the match the other night, I asked him about the game face he appeared to be wearing, right? And, you know, we know Alaka. He has a great sense of humor, very playful, but seemed to have a little bit more of a serious disposition the other night. And he says, yeah, that's something Charlie has talked to me about. And so I'm very aware to try to change a little bit of that approach now that he has a greater responsibility at that opposite position. An ace dealt out the deck there by Parker Van Buren.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Alakai Todd has been playing behind some of the top oppos in the country.
Yeah.
He came in, and when Radopar Punov was starting, then you have Dimitris Muklias, who, again, maybe a little bit undersized for an oppo, but was, again, one of the best oppos in the country. He's had to learn from a lot of people, and sometimes it could be a little hard to be behind players like that. You know, you find other avenues, maybe not take it as serious, but again, with the opportunity he had this year, I think he really stepped into that role and has been working incredibly hard and is doing a fantastic job in the oppo position. As the season goes on, too, we're going to see incredible things from him.
Galloway on the serve. Schobel going backside. Van Buren blocked. Diving cover there. Nicely done by Fabakovic, who gets the set. Quick reset for him. Great save along the corner by Galloway. The tip over the net by Todd, and now Loyola on the attack. Van Buren winds up, uncoils, and unloads his 5th kill.
The really exciting thing about this matchup is, again, two very tall teams playing against each other. We're seeing the ball hit at the top of the antenna and not coming down into the block a lot. They're finding those hands, doing an incredible job trying to either tool or recycle off the block and cover to try and get another swing at it.
So Loyola hitting 429 here in this second set. Hawaii, 4 kills, has the first error of the match. One committed by Kurt Neusterer after getting blocked. And trying to go over on 2 was Rosenthal, but he got blanketed. Jake Reed timed it perfectly.
Reed, again, for a freshman, is such a smart player, and a lot of that is attributed to growing up in the beach in Newport Beach, playing a lot of beach growing up, and again, played at Balboa Bay, one of the most prestige boys volleyball clubs in the country. He's coming in with a lot of confidence, and for a freshman year, we're going to see big things from him in the next 4.
Hawkes just destroying that set. That one echoed through the arena. And a much-needed point for Hawaii. That ends what was a 4-1 Loyola run. They had built their largest lead at 3.
Hakas does a phenomenal job of finding that 4-to-4 swing, and it's even more exciting when we see him do it against a triple block, but does an incredible job lining up in that angle there, seeing the open court and swinging for it.
6 serving 8. Neusterer just long. So Hawaii already with 6 service errors, already more than the entire match that they totaled the other night.
And again, I think a little bit of that is they're maybe a little bit more excited. There's an incredible crowd in here tonight at the Simplify Stan Sheriff Arena. They need to calm those nerves down a little bit and find that service line, or find their rhythm from the service line a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, you figure a bigger crowd tonight, but it was pretty darn good. 4,500 there and about on a Wednesday for the opening night a couple of evenings ago.
And the exciting statistic to look at is for the women's side, they ranked 3rd in the country for attendance behind Nebraska and Wisconsin. Something incredibly hard to do, where Nebraska sold out a football stadium at 92,500. Hawaii has one of the best fan bases they can ask for in the country.
Yeah, every single year. And you saw the disarray on the Hawaii side. And now the largest lead for Loyola at 4. Voss gets one back. After whiffing on the misconnection moments earlier, that one he was able to get in the sweet spot, and Hawaii back within 3.
And what I really like about Tread in those last 2 plays, he's not scared to repeat to someone that may have made an error where he may have lost not the perfect connection. He's not scared to repeat to these hitters. But again, another service error from Hawaii really affecting them here in this set. They're having a hard time finding a groove defensively, not allowing them to earn any true points.
So here's Cole Schobel, the 6'1 freshman out of Mater Dei High School. John Hawkes calls him just a winner. A lot of success. One of the more reputable programs in the country. It's the diving save there. So the bump set by the libero Oakley to Van Buren, and what an up by Choi. And they're going to call a miss hit there on the set by Galloway.
incredible up by Lo Choi. And kind of like I mentioned in the beginning, the awesome thing with this libero, a little bit undersized. He is small, but he makes up with all the effort, and he's able to get to balls that a lot of liberos might not be able to get to.
Had to lay out on that first touch. Here's Hakas going high hands, punched up to the net by Van Buren, and it'll fall to the Terraflex. Yeah, Leo Choi had the career high 15 digs, go along with a handful of assists on Wednesday, and some of those plays were electrifying, and the crowd was drinking in with enthusiasm just about every one of them.
They really were, and he's just such a hard worker. It's so exciting to see him get this opportunity to start. And again, he's put in the work to be in this position. He's a player that a lot of people don't know has ran 2 miles before and after practice at 6 in the morning, and then would practice and then go work out again. Just very hard worker and very exciting to always see a local boy out there playing.
You see Hawaii just a little off as far as the calibration from the service line, though. That's now 8 service errors in the match. They trail by 5 here in set 2. Backside, it is Todd. Did he get the touch? Yes, he did. So Alakai Todd still without an error. He has 5 kills.
We're seeing incredible efficiency from Alakai Todd, and that's something you expect from an opposite. They're usually going to be put in the hardest positions. They usually get nicknamed the garbage man because you have to take care of anything that comes to you. And he's doing a phenomenal job tonight. A lot more confidence from him, I believe.
Here's Keone Phim in and back to serve. Into the net. So he missed one in the first set. Misses one there. And Hawaii having to traverse a little bit of inconsistency and adversity from the service line tonight. A bit of a different mix of ingredients compared to how the match played out on Wednesday. Here's Rosenthal, goes high ball, Galloway going up and getting it. Rosenthal just sent it into the stratosphere, and there are very few that can go up there and do what Chaz Galloway just did.
Galloway standing at 6'2", going against a 6'8" Van Buren blocker, still able to reach up and over 3 defenders. The block, the right back defender, and the middle back defender.
Here's Van Buren. Oh, that back set a little off the mark. So Hawaii with the advantage. Galloway, that set was off the mark as well, and then he just powered it past the resistance. So Chaz Galloway with a couple of improv moves, and he was able to get a couple of kills for Hawaii.
Very smart play there by Galloway, and I think we're seeing a little bit of that connection loss in this second set that they didn't have in that first set for both teams. The sets are a little bit off. The players coming in, rushing on a couple of these approaches. They need to both find that chemistry.
Van Buren by the double block. And Loyola gets to 15 first. Parker Van Buren with 6 kills, hitting .385. Ramblers. Welcome back, an Aloha Friday match here, and we will follow it up tomorrow night with the Saturday night live edition of Rainbow Wahine basketball taking on CSUN. 6:30 p.m. is when our coverage begins on Spectrum Sports. And no better way to open an Aloha Friday match than with Kimo Kahuano, the great Kimo Kahuano, performing the anthem and Hawaii Pono'i. That was just wonderful and set a great tone. But here is Hawaii trying to fight their way back in set 2. And Parker Van Buren with an ace. That is his 3rd ace here of this match. And so an interesting challenge now presenting itself for Hawaii. They are hitting .611 offensively as a team. But they're now having to endure a night where they are not in their best frame when it comes to the service line, and having to deal with a Loyola team that's serving the ball much tougher.
And we talked about it in the beginning. If Loyola was going to serve tougher, it was going to be a harder game for Hawaii. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're putting a lot of pressure, and they're serving at a high caliber. They have 3 aces right now with only 4 errors, as compared to Hawaii's 9 errors on 2 aces.
Noosterer able to plug it inside that Rambler block. And so Hawaii just trying to hang around here, see if they can make a run similar to what we saw in set 3 2 nights ago.
Chaz Galloway is going to have to be very smart with this serve. We've seen Hawaii go on a 3 serve error And that's where you want to be a little bit more aware of what's going on in the game when you're back there on the service line. The person in front of you misses, be a little bit more aware with how much pressure you try to put on the serve as opposed to getting it in.
Pass there by Reed. Try to go quick outside to Fabikovic, and he tools the block. That's his 5th kill. So Loyola still without a hitting error in this second set. They only have 5 kills in set 2.
Hawaii's giving them a lot of their points here in this set, though. We see Hawaii in the first set, they had 0 errors. Hitting-wise, they have 2 hitting errors now, but also 7 serving errors in this second set. It's going to hurt them. It is hurting them a little bit now. They kind of need a little bit more of a rhythm, and they're not allowing themselves to get into that rhythm where we've seen the Ramblers. They're playing with a lot more energy tonight, a lot more confidence, and they're seeing them build that rhythm.
So here's Neuster, 6'9", redshirt sophomore from Indianapolis. And the block is up on Meyer. Access denied there.
Smart serve by Kurt Neuster. We see him take a little bit more off, found the middle of the court, allowing Hawaii. Again, they have an incredible blocking and defensive team. They need to allow their defense to work.
Here's G. Voss and Spiros Hakas joining forces. Hawaii within 3. Trying to turn it around here in the second. Welcome back. Well, Hawaii will be welcoming Emmanuel into the house next week for a pair of matches, Wednesday and Friday. And it is an obligation to have some member of the McLaughlin family here in the arena whenever there's volleyball played. And you have 2 of them, Spencer on the left and Parker McLaughlin on the right. Spencer, of course, on the coaching staff with the USC women's volleyball program. And Parker McLaughlin, a professional golfer known now as the short game chef. If you want to improve your short game, it behooves you. I would recommend that you subscribe to the Short Game Chef and some of those lessons available as Spiros Hakas crushes one for a Hawaii point, and they're within 2. With the McLaughlins in the house, gives us a chance to give another shout out to C-Mac. Chris McLaughlin, again, feeling a little under the weather here this week, so looking forward to getting him back on the headset as soon as possible. We love you, C-Mac. Neuster doing a good job here on the service line. Goes deep corner on that one. The set jostled in the hands a little bit of Schobel, dug up by Neuster. Here's Hakas, rising high. Hawaii has scored 4 straight. Now we're going to have a challenge, it appears.
Ball down, no net violation. Loyola challenging net fault by Hawaii.
So the challenge is going to be a net violation against Hawaii. I'm assuming it's on the Spiros Hakas follow-through, perhaps. And again, Dixon Chun will take a look at this. Just a little clarification from what we mentioned earlier in the last challenge. So again, they are applying the DV Sport replay system, and that is independent of the Spectrum Sports cameras, but they do still have access to what the Spectrum Sports cameras shoot as well. So it's more on the decision-making of Dixon Chun whether or not he wants to utilize the DV Sport camera angles or what Spectrum Sports is able to provide. The difference is, the biggest difference is there is no longer communication between the officials and the production crew for Spectrum Sports. So it is a little bit more, they're on an island, so to speak. But they do still have the option to scroll through what the DV Sport cameras pick up as well as what the Spectrum cameras do.
That definitely helps them out a lot more. Just gives them as many angles as possible because, again, when you go for a challenge, unless it is certain that you can overrule it, it makes it, you're not allowed to change the call unless you are 100% certain that the call has to be changed.
So do you see anything here as far as a net violation?
I don't, but I could see why they would call the challenge because from our angle as well, Tread kind of overset that ball onto the Ramblers side, and Spiros really had to reach over the net. But he does an incredible job there, stopping his hand from that angle. Let's see from this angle if we see it.
Look at that. So that's our net cam, and wouldn't you know it, when we needed it perhaps most, at least to this point in the match, it goes black. That was not something wrong with your television set at home. That was our net cam going black at the most inopportune time.
Some people might argue home court advantage. Technology, though, it's pretty incredible what they're able to do. And again, this just totally changes the game. 4 years ago when I was playing, we didn't have challenges, and to be able to bring that to the NCAA game really allows you to call it very fairly, because again, the ball travels at such high speeds. These players are moving so incredibly quick, it might be hard for your eye to catch it the first time around.
Well, you see the net and the shaking, the sort of tremor of the net after the fact, but you also had the proposed block that came into it at the end of the play. It looks like Schobel. And so, if anything, that could have caused the shaking of the net there. And it seems, at least from the angles that we have had access to here on our broadcast, it doesn't seem as though there's anything that's overly conclusive. And again, there are angles that Dixon Chun has access to via the DV Sport replay system that we do not, and he has reversed the call.
Very interesting call from the angles that we saw in my eyes. I did not see a net from Spiros Hakas, but again, you can't always judge. It's up to the ref's call.
Well, Spiros is not happy about it, and he let Dixon Chun know about it. And I mean, you know, as a player, you know if you committed a net violation, right?
You really do. And again, especially in a moment right here where the score now goes to 18-15 as opposed to what would have been 17-16, it's a big point for the Warriors.
Oh, great play by Voss to keep it alive. Outside, it's Reed off the block. Right there is Choi. So Hawaii with the advantage. Here's Pakas, and it hit the pin. Oh, he was looking to absolutely explode on that ball, but it hits the antenna, and the hitting error gives the Ramblers a 4-point advantage. Hawaii will signal for a timeout. So Hawaii does not get the benefit of the replay challenge. They're still on the comeback trail. They're not getting the call on the replay challenge. Reversed after the challenge by Loyola to a net violation that, at least by our camera angles, did not appear to be obvious. Certainly not conclusive enough to overturn it. But again, Dixon Chun with access to angles that we don't have on our broadcast via the DV Sport camera system. But out of the timeout, the serve goes long, and Hawaii's still in this thing.
Hawaii still has a lot of game left. They're going to be able to come back. But again, the service line is going to be the determining factor for them. They're having a rough night from the service line. They have 10 errors only in set 2, where last night they had 5 errors to 6 aces. And again, adding another one, they're making it 11. It's going to be hard to come back in this match if that's going to be the narrative of the story.
And so it will be Schobel, with Loyola sitting on the 20-point mark. That ball hit the scoreboard above, so a bump set. Hakas bounces it in the middle of the floor. Just laying the lumber. Unloading some of that frustration that we saw moments ago.
Yeah, I think Spiros a little bit frustrated from that call still, but again, that kind of motivates a lot of those players to bring that fire to the game.
Schobel going backside. Here's Reed. Block slowed it down. The dig by Rosenthal. So Hakas again on the set. Todd with 3 blockers up. Zuck up on one knee by Fabikovic. He gets the set in the back row. Goes off the block and out. And they are trading blows here late in set 2.
The Ramblers playing very clean volleyball here in the second set. They seem like, again, maybe a little bit nervous in that first set, but they're finding that rhythm. Schobel's doing an incredible job spreading out the offense. He's found the back row. He's getting the middles involved, putting the Hawaii blockers in a little bit more of an edge.
And the crowd trying to do its part here. 2-hand pass, Choi. Outside. Galloway had to try to left hand touch it over. Now Todd on the full swing. And that with some high cheddar in the direction of Jake Reed. Alakai Todd with 6 kills. He's hitting around 600.
Hawai'i Todd doing an incredible job. And what I like about his game tonight is he's playing it safe, but also with a lot of confidence. We're not seeing errors from his swings. He knows when to green light it, and he knows when to take them off.
So 18 serving 21. Can Hawaii make a push here? Up 1 set to none. They took the first 25-18, and that'll help. Third service ace for the Rainbow Warriors in this match, and it cuts the deficit down to 2.
Yeah, and again, that's the benefit of having that float serve in the mix. It's a little bit more consistent. It's not flashy, but it is effective a lot of times because passers are not usually used to seeing it in the NCAA. Very rare you see a float server.
Backside Van Buren. Oh, the block got a heavy touch that time. Here's Galloway. Able to plug it through, but still alive on the Loyola side. Here's Van Buren, dug up by Rosenthal, but it finds its way into the seats. And Loyola gets the point. Van Buren with 7 kills.
Van Buren's having himself a much better night tonight. Found his rhythm that I think all Rambler fans are a little bit more used to seeing, and I think the whole country's used to seeing. And again, the Ramblers are just on a roll right now. They've found a good rhythm, and they're sticking to it.
We have a serving sub here. It's going to be Cooper Evans, who had an ace on Wednesday. 6'5" sophomore from Glenview, Illinois. Had 11 aces last year in his first year with the Ramblers as a serving specialist. Here it is. Into the net. You can maybe give the assist to the crowd on that one.
I think so, and again, electrifying crowd here in the Simplify Stan Sheriff Arena, and that's what makes it very hard to play in here. The crowd always helps out this Hawaii team when maybe they're a little bit down. We're seeing a little bit less emotion from everyone on the team. It's a very good booster to have.
20, serving 22. Into the net. Service error number 11 for the Warriors.
Again, late in the set, it's really hard to miss so many serves. And they're doing an incredible job playing defense. They need to give themselves that opportunity to trust and rely on that defense.
I mean, they're hitting 400 in this second set. They're hitting 522 for the match. You really have to circle the service errors as being the primary obstacle here that has stood in the way of Hawaii possibly winning this second frame. But Van Buren serves it into the twine.
Hawaii's going to have to be very smart with these next couple of plays. Chaz Galloway, a good server. He served 92% last night. They're just going to have to give themselves opportunities. But again, men's volleyball, you're going to see that aggressiveness, maybe a little bit recklessness every now and then. When the crowd gets excited, you feed into it.
So a battle of serving attrition. Who's going to start getting them in first? Van Buren from behind the line. That was electric. A power surge from Parker Van Buren, and it's aloha ball for Loyola. And Hawaii will try to put a damper on the mood for the moment here as they signal for a timeout. But Parker Van Buren, who John Hawk says could possibly be the next great opposite on the national level for Team USA. And of course, he coached alongside John Speraw at UCLA, spent the previous 7 years prior to coming over to Loyola Chicago as an assistant with the Bruins program, leading the recruiting efforts. And so he knows what he's talking about. He can recognize talent, and he puts Parker Van Buren on a very high pedestal.
He really does, and what we're seeing tonight from Van Buren is just much better contact when he's hitting the ball, and he's hitting at a much higher caliber, not really getting blocks, finding around the block, but also when he does swing to it, he's finding the fingers. He's playing with a lot more excitement tonight, and this is what the Ramblers are going to need from him moving forward into the season, knowing they're a little bit of a younger team. Van Buren's doing an incredible job tonight, and I think we're seeing a little bit more emotion from him too.
Only 8 of the Ramblers' 24 points have come off of kills here in this second set.
I think a lot of that's attributed to Hawaii's service errors. We're seeing both teams hitting at a high caliber. The Ramblers are hitting at 304, and Hawaii's hitting at 400. We're not seeing too many errors from the hitting, but again, the serving, they've missed 7 serves here in the second set.
Good look there at Spiros Hakas. That replay challenge review came at an extremely crucial time, you'd have to say, in this second set. Just when Hawaii was building the momentum and appeared as though they were ready to maybe pounce and get even with the Ramblers. That changed the vibe a little bit, and now the Ramblers serving for set 2. Alas, another service error. So Hawaii still with life. And Charlie Wade will bring in Kai Taylor to serve. It remains Aloha ball. And now Loyola signaling for a timeout as John Hawk's going to try to ice Kai Taylor. We have the Loyola Chicago contingent that made the trip. They were standing, some of them deciding to just remain standing in the seats, some of them deciding to, take a load off here during the timeout.
Definitely, and a smart decision by the Ramblers. It's really hard to come off the bench, and especially, again, 24-22. It's not an easy position to be in as a serving sub, and now you're just adding that little extra pressure onto them to maybe miss.
Not a bad trip for this Loyola Chicago team and its fans that followed suit to take here at this time of year. John Hawk's telling me it's around 35 degrees or so back home.
Them definitely getting out of that cold weather. And again, for the parents, it's always exciting to be able to come out to Hawaii. They get their vacation, but also get to see their sons play on one of the biggest stages in the world. Again, Simplify Stan Sheriff Arena, one of the most electrifying places. It's always exciting, and I think every team that comes out here that doesn't always get an opportunity to come out here definitely takes advantage of it. Again, they've been here since the 30th of December. They've got to experience the culture, going to luau's, getting to go to the beach, and again, speak about celebrating New Year's in Hawaii and getting to see those fireworks shows.
Yeah. Some of those fireworks were legal as well. Some of them, a few. Very small fraction, I would imagine.
A little bit.
Yeah, some of the Rambler players, according to John Hawks, even got on a few surfboards, and some of them stood up and caught some waves, and so they got the full experience here over the course of their time. But right now trying to experience their first set victory against Hawaii this week. It is Aloha ball, but Kai Taylor to serve. Floats it across. And Schobel on 2. Smacks it home. And the Ramblers take the second 25-22. So we are all square here at Simplify Arena at Stan Sheriff Center. Get comfy, folks, because we got ourselves a match. The ups and downs of a Hawaii team playing near flawlessly offensively. But the service line, an issue. We got a match. Statistics, Kanoa Leahy sitting next to James Anastasiadis. And James, what do you see? Hawaii playing some good volleyball with the exception of those service errors.
And that's really what's hurting them. Again, they're hitting at a very high percentage. They're getting a lot of digs. They're out digging the Ramblers, and they're out blocking the Ramblers, but they're not allowing themselves to build a rhythm because they're missing too many serves. In that second set, they missed 8 serves, and they only lost by 2. That's a big game changer. And I think that challenge may have affected them a little bit emotionally. It changed the rhythm of the game. They were building 3-point back lead, and it just changed the vibe.
So we welcome you back inside Simplify Arena at Stan Sheriff Center. Aside from just serving the ball in at a higher frequency, what else can Hawaii do to get back on track here?
Hawaii's going to have to find that connection with the setter. I think tread was maybe a little bit off there in that second set. We saw a couple sets a little too tight to the net, a little over the net at times. They're just going to have to slow it down, trust their game, and play a little bit more simple volleyball.
And a reminder, the would-be primary backup at the setter position, the transfer from Lewis, Kevin Calling, who was a 4-year starter over there, who injured his ankle in warm-ups prior to Wednesday's season opener. He is out and is probably going to be out for a bit of an extended period of time with what is being said to be an ankle injury. And so he's not available, and there you see him at the end of the bench. And so that puts a little more pressure on Tread Rosenthal. You do have Austin Buchanan, 6'8" sophomore setter, waiting in the wings as well. But one of those situations where Charlie Wade could have had another option if things got a little bumpy as they did at times for Tread Rosenthal, but instead I think Charlie Wade perhaps a little bit more inclined to let him try to ride through some of that adversity, which in the long run might be a good thing anyway.
I think so, and I think that's where they're leaning towards. Again, freshman, you want to give him as much experience as you can, as opposed to a fifth-year senior who we don't know how much more time he does have here.
Meanwhile, the freshman setter for Loyola, he just unleashed one from the service line to get this third set started. Schobel with his first service ace of the match. That one tickled the tape. D-set now to Alakai Todd. And he is still grooving. 7 kills for Alakai on 11 attempts. No errors.
Alakai Todd again tonight playing with a lot more confidence, and I think higher volleyball IQ. He's not going for the biggest swing on non-perfect sets, but on a set that he feels comfortable, he's doing an incredible job putting that ball away.
Just finding the open floor that time was Dean Meyer. Was selected to the U21 junior national training team back in May. He's in his 3rd year with the program, one of just 3 Ramblers to play all 28 matches a season ago. Rosenthal going back row, Galloway soaring to the volleyball.
Again, it's so impressive to see Chaz Galloway hit the big. It almost looks like he's hitting it front row. He leaps about 6 feet broadly and hits it at such a high contact point.
I mean, he landed right at the net, like right at that middle line. It's a broad jump from Chaz Galloway. Good dig there by Hawkes, and over on 2 goes Voss. This is becoming a thing.
It is. That play looks a little bit familiar like we saw in that first set. And again, to speak about the athleticism and the hand-eye coordination you need to be able to do that, comes right off the dig over his right shoulder. He's looking at the crowd behind him and has to swing at 180 degrees over him. Incredible athleticism from Jeremy Voss.
Voss, who entered this week hitting .513 for his career, then gets in on the stuff right there next to Alakai Todd. And Hawaii on a 3-0 run here in the 3rd. Guilherme Voss, the 6'7" senior from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, in his 5th year with the program. Here's Van Buren. He's able to avoid that double block. To the near side, finding the open floor. He has 9 kills. How crazy is that, though? I'm just looking at Guilherme Voss' 5th year, right? You have Spiros Hawkes in his 4th year with the program. You have players like Alakai Todd as Voss on cue gets it down, Chaz Galloway, and like just about everything they've known, almost all they have known is playing in national championship volleyball.
It's pretty incredible. And again, that was the weird part with COVID. It really allowed a lot of these players to gain 1, if not 2 years, depending whether you redshirt. Again, we had players come through the program and players that are in the program for 6 years. It allowed them to see the process, right? Someone like Alakai Todd, he was there when we got to the first semifinal. He was there when Hawaii got to that first national championship and all the work that it took to get there. And then he had 3 more years to play. It's pretty incredible to see all these freshmen that come in, all these new recruits that come in, and to be into such a successful program, it's hard to know otherwise than losing.
What a pass there by Hawkes. Nuster pounds it off the hands and down. Well, and then it's the old adage, right, where success begets success. And now the word of mouth, right, that traverses around the globe, especially when you've had great players in your program who are of international origins. And so, you know, the story of Louis Sakanoko, who joined the team, another option at the opposite hitter position, as that one touches down by Fabikovic. And basically, he was a guy who was playing with Colton Cowell. And Colton Cowell saying, oh, would you be interested in going to Hawaii? He connects Louis and Charlie Wade. The next thing you know, he's joining at semester and he's on the roster. And you have stories like that that are becoming more and more abundant here over the last few years.
You really do. And it talks about that chemistry and that connection that players that come through this program really have. They leave, but they're always thinking about Hawaii. They're always thinking about the future. They're thinking about that next year of when they leave, how they could help out. And again, I think a lot of that's also attributed to Milan Zarkovic, who's been in this program. He came from Europe, came from Serbia, and added that extra recruiting service per se, you know, where he has those connections and is able to bring players, top-notch players from Europe to the U.S. to play and get their education at the same time, where you can't do anywhere else in the world.
I mean, a guy like Jakob Tella, who is, you know, playing for one of the best clubs in Italy, and just the stories that he has shared about how there are all these young players, these up-and-comers, as Trent Rosenthal able to just slam dunk it two-hand style on the dump shot for the Hawaii point. He's telling stories of these kids coming up to him. They've watched him play throughout his collegiate career on YouTube or whatever it may be, and they know about Hawaii volleyball because, in many ways, of Jakob Tella.
Yeah, and it's just super exciting to see how much Hawaii volleyball is being talked about. They're one of the first programs ever to introduce so many Europeans to American volleyball and to collegiate volleyball. When I was on the team, we'd always have 4, if not 5 Europeans on the team. I got recruited to Hawaii from Cyprus through the connection of Milan Zarkovic. He coached at the club that I played for, left the year I started volleyball, but the connection was always there. It's just exciting to see, and adds a little bit more of a sense of culture to this team, learning about all these other countries.
Wow, Alakai Todd taking line, showing a wide fan here this evening, and gaining more fans in the process.
Alakai Todd really showing us what he's capable of, and we're seeing those glimpses of, I think, what's going to be an incredible season for him.
He's cooking with Kiave right now. 8 kills, 667, no errors. Van Buren, oh boy. Look out. That one coming into the kitchen there on Kurt Neusterer.
I think Van Buren telling Alakai Todd in that play, I could do the same. That was heater from both sides.
Van Buren catching a body right there. Rosenthal has to track it down. High ball set to Hawkes, and he makes it work. So Spiros Hawkes already in the double figures in kills. Now has 11. He's hitting well over 500.
And Spiros does an incredible job here, waiting, knowing that the set might not be perfect as Tread's running off that net, finds the deep corner for the kill.
2-time second-team All-American. And Buren had to just flat-footed send it across. So here's Rosenthal to Galloway. Off the runway.
Tread doing an incredible job, I think, this set as well, spreading the offense a little more, finding the middle of the court, keeping the Ramblers block in a little bit more of a tight situation.
10 serving 8. And that's an ace! Rosenthal able to just catch that in line. 3 straight points for the Warriors. Just missing the sideline.
Tread kind of going for Charlie's unspoken of thumb down on that one. Might want to see a little bit more of a thumb up into the cross court.
So here's Jake Reed to serve. Into the net. Hawaii hanging on to this 3-point advantage here in a pivotal third set. Rainbow Warriors took the first 25-18, lost in set 2, 25-22. So trying to reclaim a little bit of possession of this match. Overpass, and it goes out. Give the ace to Spiros Hawkes. And Hawaii has its largest lead of set 3.
And again, I think the biggest difference that we're seeing so far in this third set is that Hawaii is putting their serves in bounds, but also putting a lot more pressure. They're hitting at a very similar caliber that they ended the last set in, but they're allowing themselves to find this rhythm from the service line.
That one goes long. You saw the service ace numbers for Spiros Hakas last year, 38. That led the team.
Next server, Dean Meyer.
Now Dean Meyer to serve for Loyola. 10th in the first ABCA rankings, which came out on Wednesday, prior to that night's match. Tip shot, Galloway. Pull the string. And Hawaii gets to 14. Hawaii ranked 3rd in the first ABCA rankings.
It's always interesting for me to see that first week where you get the rankings, and it's usually questionable, especially when a lot of teams graduate a lot of players. And again, it doesn't matter how you start the season, it is how you end it. But it's exciting night for volleyball across the country. A lot of people having their home openers tonight. And again, we get to see what every single team looks like. Maybe a little bit better judgment after week 3, week 4.
Yeah.
That's when we'll start seeing the rankings be a little bit more accurate.
Rankings tend to more or less reflect the previous season, right? And some of the voting obviously takes some of the players that graduate or aren't there anymore into account. But you have UCLA, the defending champs, they're number 1. Long Beach State, number 2. And Hawaii behind them. But you got 3 Big West teams in the top 4, by the way, including UC Irvine. Here's Galloway.
Speak about that Big West. 3 teams in the top 5. I was very fortunate enough.
But we'll take a break. Timeout on the floor. Hawaii gets the 15 first. We'll get to that in a moment.
In Hawaii, a healthy smile shows love for a family. It appreciates the culture of its community. It builds partnerships, conveying ideas and aloha. Our smiles preserve.
Well, Hawaii on a 7-2 run, and offensively, they've been flying the friendly skies with Air Galloway here on this last stretch.
Chaz Galloway really finding a rhythm here and switching it up a little bit. We're seeing very aggressive swings from the back row and Tread spreading the offense a little bit more, finding the connection with the middles and the pins. But Chaz Galloway really kind of taking a little bit more authority here in this third set.
Galloway 9 kills, 1 error, hitting 571. Good set there to Van Buren. That was well done by Shoulder. Hawaii hitting 769 here in set 3. Loyola also lava hot. They're hitting up near 600. In fact, exactly at 600 after that Parker Van Buren kill. I want to give you a chance to finish your thought on the Big West representation in the national rankings.
Yeah, it's been very exciting to kind of see the separation from the MPSF to the 2 conferences with the Big West. And again, Big West really showing to dominate volleyball in the country, which speaks of the caliber that Hawaii and all the Big West teams need to show up and play with every single night when they are playing against each other. And out of the preseason rankings where you're playing against non-conference opponents, it puts into a lot more consideration how you can move on if you don't win the Big West.
And the Big West stacked yet again. And it always makes for a really fun ride through the conference schedule. Babakovic, is there a touch? No touch, sends it out. And Hawaii with a little bit of breathing room here. Largest lead of the third. They're up 6.
And again, I think the change of the story that's going on here is Hawaii's doing an incredible job from the service line. They've found a rhythm. They're putting it in bounds, but also putting a lot more pressure than we saw in the second set.
Araka'i Todd, 9 kills, hitting 692. And that one just kept on the Hawaii side. We've seen, again, we talk about facial expressions and those kinds of things, and that's just aesthetic stuff. But we've seen a certain demeanor about Araka'i Todd here these first 2 matches. Just showing that he's standing on business a little bit here at the start of 2024. Nooster gets it down. Wasn't the most vicious hit of all time, but you know what? The point is worth the same.
It really is, and I tell everyone, a dunk and a layup's the same, and so is a tip and a swing.
That's right. So here's Galloway. Had an ace the other night to go along with his 5 kills.
Right on cue. Again, we're seeing high volleyball IQ from Chaz Galloway here in this third set. He's switching it up a lot.
And a timeout taken by Loyola Chicago. Chaz Galloway taking over here in set 3. Welcome back. There's a look at Ali'i Keohoho. He is on the coaching staff, promoted to the associate head coaching position for Loyola Chicago, and he has ties to the islands. Coached at Kamehameha Maui, in fact, in 2017. He attended BYU, Hawaii, and CSUN. And his dad, Gary, was actually a really good quarterback back in the day at Kaiser High School.
Really just speaks to the connections and the ties to the historic Hawaii volleyball. And then you look at the national team as well. They have 3 starters from Hawaii. Hawaii just has such a big history of producing and having ties with great athletes and coaches.
We also saw, as we were showing you, the shot of Ali'i hyping up next week. Rainbow Warrior basketball welcoming UC Irvine to town on Thursday. That's going to be a big one. On the overpass, Dean Meyer able to find the floor. And so Loyola Chicago trailing by 5. Largest lead for Hawaii was moments ago at 7. And it is Lucas Anderson from Manhattan Beach on the serve. It's a good one. Great pass, though, Choi. And Newster laying the smack down.
Trent really finding that connection with those middles here in this third set as well. And again, I think Kurt was very happy with that set. Finds a big opening around that block and puts it down to the ground.
Got to give Ileu Choi the nod there on a perfect pass off of what was a smoking serve by Lucas Anderson. Speaking of smoking serves, this guy's known to do that. Keone Thim. Can he get it in? He does. Backside. The southpaw swing of Miller Truby is dug up over the net. Truby a second time. Off the shoulder of Thim and out. Miller Truby, a 6'11" redshirt freshman from Dallas, Texas. Played in just 1 set on Wednesday. Didn't play last season. He's in his second year with the program, but a former team captain and standout opposite hitter at St. Mark's School of Texas. You can see the future bright for this guy.
It really is, and again, to speak about the growth of the game, to see such big athletes come from Texas where men's volleyball still is not a sport in high schools. There's very limited clubs and opportunities out there. But again, to see the excitement from a lot of these young athletes to come out and play this amazing sport is super exciting.
Parker Van Buren, he's been exciting to watch. Certainly if you're a Loyola Chicago fan. 13 kills. He's hitting up around 500.
Yeah, and again, keeping that ball very high here tonight. He's finding fingertips, not really getting blocked, not going for any errors, doing an incredible job for the Ramblers.
Rosenthal goes D-set. And there he is again. Alakai Todd absolutely grooving tonight. That's double figures for Alakai Todd, 10 kills, no errors, hitting 714. Timeout. Loyola Chicago. Hawaii up a half dozen. And the serves are now finding their target. Alakai Todd has just been playing on another level here this evening. 10 kills. He is blemish-free on 14 attempts, hitting a fat 714, James.
He's really playing like a true veteran. You would have never thought first year starting. He's finding his groove. He's finding his confidence in his game right now. And him and Tread have found a great connection.
And Tread Rosenthal has found his serve. Back-to-back aces. Sandwiching the timeout. And Hawaii leads 23-16. 4 service aces for Rosenthal here in this match. Outside, Van Buren, diving save, Choi, touched over by Hawkes, replay on. High ball, Reed times it through the triple block. Would not be denied. And he's having himself as just a freshman. Pretty strong performance as well, 7 kills, no errors.
Yeah, he's playing very smart, and again, doesn't always have the biggest kill or the most flashy kill, but he's doing an incredible job finding the high hands and tooling off of them and playing it a little bit smarter when he doesn't have a full swing.
Saw that fantastic diving dig by Choi in the midst of that as well. Here he is on the first touch. Backside, Hawkes. He went OTT.
Hawkes is doing an incredible job, and year by year it looks like he's getting a little bit higher and a little bit higher. And again, he doesn't look like the most athletic guy out there, but makes it work.
Yeah, the elevator's going a few floors higher, it seems, at the start of this season. Aloha ball in set 3. Oh, and he falls to the floor after serving it into the net. He just shrugs his shoulders like, I don't know what happened there.
He looked a little bit too excited coming into that approach on that serve.
It will remain Aloha ball for some time here. Not that long, though. Server's error gives Hawaii set 3. And just like set 1, they take it running away. They win the third by the same score as the first, 25-18, and they lead in this match, 2-1. Welcome back for the Love of the Game celebration coming up. Helps to mark the start of University of Hawaii baseball season, 3rd annual event, Tuesday, January 3rd, 5:30 to 8:30, right here at Simplify Arena at Sand Sheriff Center. You can meet the baseball student athletes, the coaches, take part in live and silent auctions. You got food and drink from popular restaurants. And then you're going to have guest speakers in the form of Kansas City Royals hitting coach Keone Duren and also 2023 World Series champion as a member of the Texas Rangers organization, Brendan Sakara, the former pitching coach over there. Tickets for the celebration are on sale now at hawaiiathletics.com. Hey, a familiar face there in the crowd, James.
Yeah, Taylor Crabb out here, again, has a lot of family, big history, and an incredible beach volleyball player, doing big things on the beach. First season with a new partner, Taylor Sander, who retired from the indoor game, now playing beach, finding his way as a blocker. An incredible and very athletic duo. I actually had the opportunity to play against him in the very famous Daddy tournament at the Outrigger a couple of weekends ago.
How'd that go?
It went great. I had 2 high school. I had Kainoa Wade on my team. Another little high school player. Taylor Crabb did a pretty good job, but again, came out of the tournament a little too early. But very fun. And again, it just speaks to the history of volleyball here in Hawaii. To have players like this and players like this who's going to come into the future of the program. Kainoa Wade, an incredible athlete. Again, he's dominating the high school game. He's doing very big things at the club scene, but also getting invited to a lot of the USA NTDP national team development programs. And again, a 16-year-old to have 51 kills in a high school season match speaks big things about his future. And I think we're excited to see his future when he plays in college as well.
Yeah, now 17. In fact, one of the great factoids and almost trivia question answers almost that Charlie Wade has shared with us is Kainoa Wade, who is still a junior in high school right now, on pace to graduate early, will likely join the UH program at semester next year. But he is actually older than Trent Rosenthal.
He is. And again, it just speaks to the talent that's really coming up these couple of years. And again, players are getting a lot taller and they're just putting in so much work. They have so much access to resources, being able to see online training, all this kind of stuff. They're able to excel and develop at a much faster rate, which is giving them these opportunities to come in early and train. But again, speaks to the level of play for Trent Rosenthal to be able to come in as a very, very, very young freshman and compete on one of the biggest stages in the country.
And it will be Rosenthal to serve to start set 4. Hawaii was just dynamite in that third frame. They hit 778 with just one hitting error. 778 Hawaii entering this fourth set, hitting 600 for the match, James.
They have 5 players hitting over 500, and the only one that's hitting under that is Trev Rosenthal, the setter, who has hitting 200. It's incredible to see the quality of hitting and setter connection like we saw there to Kierme Voss that this freshman's bringing into the team.
It's only going to better the hitting percentage numbers. G. Voss now 7 kills. He's error-free. He's hitting 778.
Again, Kierme, just a silent threat. Never too flashy, not too loud on the court, brings his energy when he needs to, but he's always up and ready.
The model of consistency. Here's Pavkovic from the back row. He's got 8 kills.
Pavkovic has been a big threat for this Hawaii team. Again, he got a little bit silent there in that third set, but I think we're going to see this offense from the Ramblers be spread a little bit more.
High ball will go to Todd. Roll shot. Oh, he's doing it all now.
Really smart play there by Alakai Todd. He's been swinging all night, and a very nice switch up there. The defenders a little bit too much on their heels there. And again, high ball, very hard to hit. Gives it that little beachy touch to find the floor.
Went with the love and tenderness that time on the swing instead of the violence. Here's Van Buren from off the floor. Sends it out. Hawaii jumps in front. Alakai Todd, who entered the program as a middle blocker, was actually playing middle blocker his first 2 years before transitioning over to the opposite position, as you mentioned, playing behind the likes of Rado Parapunov and Dimitrios Muklias.
Just being versatile, I think, gives you a lot more opportunity when you get to college, and we've had that, really big thing at Hawaii where, like, Dalton Solberg came in as an oppo setter, ended up being one of the best middle blockers in the country. Alakai Todd coming in as a middle, finding his way to the oppo and dominating, just being super versatile.
Those high hands there, saved by Reed. Outside, Pavkovic is blocked. Good cover by Oakley. Backside, Van Buren, his dink, slammed home, but a net violation against Neuster. Oh, he wanted it, and he knew he got his hand caught in the cookie jar.
And they're just so high up on that block. A lot of times you think you have that time to pull it down and get a little too excited and find that net.
Neuster plays with such enthusiasm. He loves being out there serving three. Rosenthal goes outside. Galloway up the elevator. Good diving save over the net. Galloway a second time. Going to be a joust up there. Pinballed around, and Loyola will get the point. That's set a little off in terms of the location.
Yeah, that's set a little bit too tight. Chaz did a good job trying to recycle that ball. Could have gotten a little bit more swipe, I think, like he was showing there. Try to swipe it a little bit more.
For serving three. Here's Chaz. That one on the money. The kick save kept things alive momentarily by Schobel, but you said it earlier. It's interesting how Trev Rosenthal, when he has misfired, it is almost automatic that he's going to try to go back to the same spot. He wants to right the ship.
He really does. And again, it speaks to a big setter with confidence. Not a lot of setters are going to repeat players that make errors. They're going to find them and find that connection. And I think that's what Trev's trying to do here tonight. I didn't find you on the first one. Let's try again on the second one. I trust my hitters to be able to do that.
Here's Chaz. A dig there by Schobel. Diving bump set. Oakley, and then Van Buren goes off the block and out. Oh, he thought it had a stuff. But it ends up a point for the Ramblers. Van Buren now up to 15 kills. Leading everybody.
Yeah, we're seeing a much different Van Buren here tonight, and I think a lot of that has to do with the setter connection's been a lot better for the Ramblers as well. We see Schobel doing an incredible job finding his hitters, giving them a consistent set, and they're able to trust their approach a little bit more.
Oh, and it's an ace. Van Buren leaving his fingerprints figuratively and literally all over this match here tonight. 4 aces for Parker Van Buren. and a 4-1 run for Loyola. That one, though, stays on the Loyola Chicago side.
Hawaii server Chaz Galloway.
And so Chaz will get ready to serve. Interesting as well, you have two teams that both went on summer trips. Hawaii, they went to Japan. We had a great piece on that during the pregame the other night. As Shobo tried to spike it over on two, but hit it into the net. And then you had Loyola Chicago. They actually went to Italy for a 10-day trip back in August. Also played 3 matches. And I'd imagine, especially when you have some turnover like these two teams have had, that can go such a long way in just bringing the team together and getting a bit of a head start into the season.
It really does, and there's 2 very big benefits. Like you mentioned, that team chemistry, that team bonding, where you're spending at least a week plus, closer to 10 days abroad. You're spending 24/7 with your team. You're practicing, you're playing games. It adds that chemistry component. But the other benefit to that is you get to learn from all these other types of plays and the way that other countries play, like Italy, one of the top 5 teams in the world. They have a very technical way of playing. Japan, they do an incredible job running the ball fast, and that's where I think Joe Worsley, when we went in 2019, really switched up the game for Hawaii volleyball. There's so many benefits to making those big trips.
That was interesting. You had almost the battle of the opposite hitters there. Alaka'i Todd crushed one, but it was dug up by Van Buren, and then Van Buren put it down on his side. And it is a 2-point advantage here for the Ramblers. Mister with the pass. Outside Hakas. Goes hands and out. And Hakas now up to 13 kills. The trip to Italy produced more than just perhaps good feels and better volleyball, especially for head coach John Hawks. You might be able to see it if we get a good camera angle, but on his forearms, he actually got in Italy the names of his 2 daughters, Giovanna and Gabriella, tattooed. Here's outside Reed, and he gets the kill. He and wife Julianne, very proud of their 2 daughters. And you can kind of see on the backside of the forearms there they are. Can I get a shot of that? Yeah. Giovanna on one side, Gabriella on the other. Hakas off the block and out. And he's just doing his thing, right? I mean, you have these incredible performances being put together in other areas. G. Voss without an error with 7 kills. Alaka'i Todd, 11 kills, no errors. And then Spiros Hakas, 13 kills. He's sitting 6'11". It's like, oh, that's just Spiros doing Spiros things.
I know, it's crazy to see how casual these hitting percentages are coming off of Hawaii, but also the Ramblers not doing too shabby. They're hitting 300 here in this set, 350 overall in the match, and they have 3 players hitting over 400. It's high-level volleyball in here tonight. And again, the big thing that we're seeing tonight that you don't really get to see in a lot of men's volleyball is there's rallies. And I think that's the very exciting thing about this matchup that we see here.
Well, that one hit out, no touch up front. So we are tied at 9 apiece. Rosenthal to bring it. Into the net it goes. That is service error number 19 for Hawaii, compared to 8 aces. Remember, they had 6 aces to just 5 service errors the other night.
Not really like a trait of Hawaii to be missing so many serves, and I know exactly what's going through Coach Charlie Wade's mind right now, and that is they need to find that service line.
15 kills now for Spiros Hakas.
An incredible job. Again, Spiros just kind of putting the backpack on, leading the way for his team. Again, 4th-year veteran, one of the bigger players with experience on this team. Hawaii's going to need him to perform like this a lot.
Loops the serve over, backside, here's Reed. And he drops a hammer. And now we're starting to see some straight up banging in this 4th set.
There's a lot of back and forth, and again, I don't think the Ramblers are ready to go home, and they have a lot to prove. It's a very exciting young team, and they're playing very good tonight.
Todd goes off the hands, chased down by Reed. So high ball, Fabakovic cross court and in. And it's Loyola by 2. Trying to force a 5th set here.
Both teams on a very good rhythm right now. And again, Loyola not ready to go home.
Pass by Choi. Outside, it's Galloway. That one popped up in the air off the block. So Oakley sets up Van Buren. Pinballed around and down. Parker Van Buren cannot be stopped right now.
And again, an incredible play by Van Buren. Solo block, gets an incredible touch, recycles it, and goes up and over a big Hawaii triple block. Yeah, Guilherme Voss Santos out there and Alakai Todd.
Voss got it down, wrist away. And now Keone Finn will come in to serve. And you can just feel the fans starting to rise up a little bit in their chairs. Sense the excitement level ticking up a bit because of that. A smoke show, but it will be played over. Fabakovic, the looping shot, saved by Thim. Middle set, new score! And Hawaii gets the point, and they're within 1.
And again, an incredible play there by Keone Thim defensively to get the ball up on the net and Tread finding the middle, something that I know that they were going to work on here tonight. And Kurt Nurser, again, so much excitement and emotion, puts the ball away.
Oh boy, that one sailed long, but that's sort of the deal that Charlie has, right? You get one in, and then I'll let you high out one.
Yep, especially with Keone, because when he's on, he really is on. It'd be very exciting to see the speed and the radar guns back in here, because we're seeing a lot of 65-mile-an-hour plus serves in here tonight.
And Meinhardt with the jump floater. A little change up in some of that action. Now Galloway up on springs, sends it out, no touch. And Loyola gets to 15 first in the 4th. They lead by 3. They're thinking about a 5th. Well, Guilherme Voss, we've talked about it, the model of consistency, and tonight's been no different, James.
It really hasn't, and I love that Trent Rosenthal is finding that connection with the middle. And again, Guilherme Voss makes it easy for them. He's going to tell the setters, I'm going to be up, and I will work with a lot. But the exciting thing with Guilherme tonight is those 2 plays where he's swinging at about 180 degrees. He just shows his athleticism.
8 kills, no errors, hitting 800. However, Hawaii trailing by 3 here midway through the 4th. And Rosenthal trying a dynamic back set as he went down to his knees on the Terraflex, sent it over the net, and so Loyola able to put it down. They're up 4 here. They've scored 3 straight points.
I think Hawaii needs to play a little bit more simple. We're seeing Tread try to do a little bit too much from the setting. There's a lot of misconnections, oversets happening. He just needs to play the easy ball. And again, when you have all your hitters hitting over 500, just put it up for them to swing.
Yeah, it's hard to criticize the fact that you have a Hawaii offense that's hitting 542 overall for the match. But there have been some moments where location, just like what Charlie Wade said after the match the other night, has been a little bit off, including that moment right there as Hakas had to push it deep and then pushed it too deep. So a 7-2 Loyola run, and Charlie Wade now signals for a timeout. We'll take the break as well. Ramblers by 5. Could we see a set 5? Welcome back. There you see the 2 available setters for Hawaii. Tread Rosenthal, the starter. And then you have Austin Buchanan, the 6'8 sophomore backup. Of course, we mentioned Kevin Calling, who is out due to an ankle injury suffered prior to the match on Wednesday. There he is on the bench. He'll be out for a spell as Alakati Todd goes through the block. Now Van Buren trying to time it. He gets blocked. They go the other side. Fabakovic finds that end line. And he flexes after that pummeling. And it is Loyola up 6 here in the 4th.
the Ramblers just doing an incredible job of keeping the ball alive. Even though they're hitting into the block, everyone's ready to cover, to recycle, give themselves another opportunity.
Galloway challenging that block atop the net. Now Van Buren looking the time. It goes deep corner and gets the kill. He can do no wrong right now. He is piping hot.
Van Buren is just on fire. And again, I think he realized after the first night that this team, young team's going to need him. And he's really elevated his game coming here into the second night against Hawaii.
And the service error, though, breaks up some of that momentum. It was a 9-2 Rambler run. And so Hawaii has an uphill climb here if they want to try to get back into this fourth set. It almost becomes just as important to just try to find some rhythm again for a possible fifth set, if nothing else.
It really does. And this is where I think Hawaii's playing a little bit too emotionally right now. They're diving into the crowd's emotions, maybe a couple of the plays that they didn't agree with. And we see a little bit of a no ref whistle. Alakai Todd going for the serve before the ref blew the whistle.
He served it before the whistle, and so he gets a mulligan.
I think
effectively.
That kind of talks to they're really rushing everything right now. Hawaii needs to kind of calm down, settle down, and play the game that they can.
And gets that one in. And then Newster getting his hands on that block. Here's Galloway winding up, uncoiling. What a dig by Schobel. Van Buren dug up along the back line by Hawkes. High ball Galloway up in the air and access denied. Loyola says and they get to the 20-point mark.
The Ramblers really playing like they have something to prove, and we see so much emotion from Van Buren. I think he knows what this team is capable of, and he's excited to see that they are kind of showing on a national stage what they're capable of doing.
And it is Van Buren to serve. Has 4 service aces tonight. Tried to find that deep corner, but missed it out. And so now Chaz Galloway to serve. Hawaii, which was riding high from an offensive hitting percentage standpoint through this entire match. Hit 778 in set 3. 174 here in the fourth.
The Ramblers have kind of done an incredible job of also finding their blocking and rhythm and really taking Hawaii's hitters' good swings away. They're doing a good job defensively, making it frustrating for the Hawaii hitters to put the ball down.
Fabakovic that time pulling the string. So 21 serving 14. What a turnaround here for the Ramblers.
Number 16,
And is that a save there? Leo Choi and Alakai Todd both going for it. Leo Choi at least argued to no avail, though, that he thought he got his hand underneath the ball. Hard to tell there. Newster, one-hand save, Fabakovic. Bump set goes to Truby. And Hawaii will play it back. Hawkes deep cornering in. And how about that set by Rosenthal? He was facing the other way.
Rosenthal, again, very athletic, is capable, even at his 6'9" frame, to get into weird positions, to put the ball where it needs to be, facing usually the oppo where you wouldn't do that. Beautiful back set to Spiros Hawkes for the kill.
15 serving 21. What a serve by Newster. Holy moly.
Again, Kurt just bringing that emotion and that confidence that he has to this team late in this set. And again, if you are Hawaii, you want to build some kind of rhythm, maybe going into a potential fifth set.
I mean, that's a serve that if he puts it on that money and that location each and every time with that kind of heat, that's pretty much unreturnable.
That's a very hard serve to pass, especially down that line. And again, I wish we had a radar gun in here because the serving tonight from both sides is pretty incredible. And again, I think this Hawaii team, they know what they're capable of. They're playing with a little bit too much emotion. And again, Kurt coming in with so much confidence to that last serve, I think it's going to boost that team morale.
Musterer, who is born in Germany, does not necessarily, or at least is not included as one of the qualifiers for one of the countries represented on this roster. But you do have 6 countries that are officially listed, with players from Brazil, Canada, France, Turkey, Greece, and the United States.
But Kurt actually played with the national team in Austria last summer. He has Austrian descent. He was capable and got onto that roster and did an incredible job. And again, it was a big move for him his freshman year last year to be able to go and compete internationally, because he did redshirt. Gave him a little bit more of that experience to come in with confidence going into the season.
A graduate of Columbus North High School in Columbus, Indiana, where he also lettered in soccer and swimming. But you mentioned Austria. Yeah, his dad Norbert played basketball for the Austrian national team, so he has those ties.
Just big athlete, and again, he kind of speaks to the growth of the sport. He wasn't on one of the top club teams in the country. He didn't have the best team, but Charlie, again, walking past a random court late at AAUs and sees Kurt get up on a big block and then another big swing, it sparked that interest in him. And now, again, he's playing in one of the top teams in the nation at the NCAA level.
Out of the timeout, 16 serving 21. And that one just misses long. Mooster thought he had it, still looking a bit befuddled. But a point for Loyola Chicago. And Nicodemus Meyer, a 6'10 middle, who has a 7'2 wingspan, sends it across. Overpass, touched over though by Rosenthal. Now he has a joust that he almost wins. Free ball coming over, advantage Hawaii. Rosenthal, the boss! Pounds it down.
A lot of really big plays there by Rosenthal. Two incredible blocking moves. The first one a little bit out of proportion, but and again, finding the middles and Gehrman making it very easy running that three route for him to have an open court for the swing.
So give G-Voss 9 kills, hitting .818. Not too shabby. And Rosenthal to serve. Reed from behind the line, dug up there by Rosenthal. So here's Choi on the set. That one a little tight to the net, knuckled over, and then swung over by Schobel, but he misses the court wide.
Schobel incredibly fearless, and I think the Ramblers are purposely putting that ball a little bit higher, kind of like a set, so Schobel does have that second option, something that this Hawaii team did a lot last year with Jakob Teller.
18 serving 22. Into the net. How about 22 service errors for Hawaii?
Very unlikely of this Hawaii team to make so many service errors. And again, Charlie Wade, and we know what he's going through his mind. It is a serve-receive game. Kanai talked about it in the beginning. And it's almost a flip of scripts from that first Wednesday night. Loyola having 14 service errors. Again, Hawaii right now with 21. It's a little bit too many service errors to allow yourself to get into a rhythm. And again, they have so many digs. They're at 26 digs on the match. They're playing incredible defense, but they're not allowing themselves to build momentum because they're missing too many serves.
And so both these teams dipping a little bit in the hitting percentage here in set 4. Hawaii at 214. And Loyola Chicago at 296. You start to wonder, right? I mean, it's very early on in the season, just the second match of the year for both these squads. And you start to wonder about the fatigue factor. That was an extremely long, in real time, second set here tonight. Here we are now approaching 9:30 p.m. We are still in set 4, possibly this thing going to a fifth. And you just start to wonder if that starts to play a role here in this match.
It really does, and the hardest part about that first match, both these teams are coming off what you would call double days. They came back from a very short Christmas break after school, and they go into 4 days of 2 practices a day. They might be a little bit fatigued from that, and that's where, from a coaching standpoint, who do you sit out a little bit more at practice? Who do you give a little bit more comfort to? But again, like you said, the fatigue will set in, and who can be that big-time player when you are tired?
Well, how about the chutzpah of John Hawks in terms of how he scheduled the top of his calendar here in 2024. You got Hawaii on the road Wednesday and tonight, January 3rd and 5th. And then on Sunday, January 7th and Monday, January 8th, they play at Stanford. So they go from here to Stanford for 2 matches on back-to-back nights, Sunday and Monday. So, yeah, good luck with that. But a good test early as Voss was able to get it by the resistance on the Loyola side. But that's exactly what both these coaches were looking for, right? In trying to schedule this series at the top of the stack is test your team out of the gate, especially with some new moving parts, so to speak.
And what that really allows these coaches to do is early on know where their weaknesses are, and that way moving forward through the season, they're able to work on those as much as they can.
Rosenthal going outside. Galloway, that one a little off the net. Dug up by Fabakovic. Now Reed had 6 hands up there for Hawaii, slowing it down. Back row, it's Hawkes! Lights it on fire!
What an incredible play by Spiros Hawkes. You almost always want to give that middle back defender the ball when they pass it. And again, he hit that ball and came under the net. They are soaring about 7 feet.
So a timeout taken. Hawaii on a 4-1 run. Spiros Hawkes with an absolute firecracker prior to that timeout. 17 kills, hitting .609. Hawaii not out of this 4th set yet. 20 serving 23. And it's a good serve. It's an ace!
If you are Hawaii, that's definitely who you want behind that service line right now. He is the veteran. He has an incredible serve, and I think he's going to play this one smart. He's not going to go too forceful with his serve. He's going to be able to put it in bounds and make Loyola Ramblers play for it.
Largest lead in this 4th set for the Ramblers was 7. They passed that time. Middle set, that one got slowed down by the tape. Troy chases down the second touch. Galloway with the swing and gets the kill.
What a play by Alero Troy there. Diving into the crowd, let alone a perfect high ball set to Chaz Galloway. And Chaz Galloway finding that corner by inches.
Hawaii a chance to tie. Back row, Fabakovic gets it home. And it is a Aloha ball in set 4 for the Ramblers. The Loyola Loyalists standing here on Aloha ball. Pass by Choi. Rosenthal goes to Voss. And Voss gets the kill. 11 put-downs for Guilherme Voss, hitting way over 800. And Hawaii down 1. Set point remains here for the Ramblers.
Hawaii really finding that confidence that they have. And again, those veterans really stepping up here late in the set.
It's Voss to serve. You got to get it in. He does. Back set, Van Buren. Deep corner and in. What a set there by Schobel as well. And the Ramblers force a 5th and decisive set here in the Hanaho rematch. A battle of top 10 teams culminates after this. Well, it didn't take long. Didn't get very deep into 2024 before we came across our first 5-setter. It happens here in the Hanaho rematch between Hawaii and Loyola Chicago. And Parker Van Buren, a big reason as to why this thing has been pushed to a 5th. He has 19 kills. He leads everybody on the floor. He's hitting .500, and I can't remember the last time he misfired.
I don't think so at all. And again, I think Wednesday night we didn't see the real Parker Van Buren, and he came out to prove a point tonight. He's doing an incredible job, and again, on his very young, they have 3 freshmen out on the court for the Ramblers. He needed to step it up a little bit, and he's playing very smart. He's going for the high hands, really reaching high, finding the corners. And again, from the service line, different story for the Ramblers tonight compared to that first night. They have 5 service aces with only 7 errors. And just playing incredibly smart volleyball.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like he's necessarily been getting a nectar set each and every time. He's still been able to find ways to make it work.
He really has. And again, the Ramblers out with their starting setter. I think all the hitters know that you might anticipate a less perfect set, but you're going to have to work with it. You're going to have to play a little bit smarter, swing higher into the block, and the Ramblers are doing a good job covering and keeping the ball alive.
And there you see the fans participating here as they play the Journey song, Don't Stop Believin', and everyone flashing the lights on their cell phones.
There truly is no better place than playing in this Stan Sheriff in the country, especially speaking for men's volleyball, where the second biggest arena you're going to get is the Long Beach State Pyramid, where they max out at 4,500 fans. We're able to fit at least 10,500 here in the Simplify Stan Sheriff Arena.
I'm just impressed that as long as this match has lasted, everyone still has power in their cell phones.
I know, right? It just speaks to the entertainment that they're getting on the court. I don't think anyone's looking at their phones. We have so much exciting volleyball going on tonight. And again, unfamiliar in the men's game, there's a lot of rallies going on. It's super exciting. And if this is the start to the 2024 season, I'm so excited to continue watching.
Yeah, everybody's showing up to the arena fully charged as far as their devices are concerned. Parker Van Buren in that fourth set, he had 5 kills on 8 swings, no errors, hit 625. In the third set, he had 6 kills, hit 556. So, as mentioned, only 2 hitting errors the entire match, but he has raised his level here over the last couple of frames. But it will be Hawaii serving first in the 5th. Keone Thim serves it into the netting.
And again, this 5th set to 15, you're going to have to be really good off the beginning, because it's going to be really hard to come back and try and find a rhythm.
And so now Cole Schobel. He can hit the high MPHs on the gun with his serve, but it is Neusterer who blows the most smoke on that swing.
What an incredible pass by Alo Choi. There was so much heat behind that serve, but does an incredible job getting his hips behind the ball. And Kurt running a beautiful push away from the middle.
He's had a strong performance as well. 7 kills, hitting 600. Outside, Van Buren off the block. It was saved at the last moment by Reed. Wasn't sure if that was going out or not. Faberkovic dug up by Neusterer. So it's Todd with the bump set.
What a big swing by Spiros Hakas. And again, broken play. Kurt with an amazing dig. Big high bump set by Alakai Todd. Spiros does an incredible job getting his feet to a very tight set, hitting high and over the block.
Keone Thim staying in there, by the way, following the opening serve here. So it looks like Charlie trying to mix things up just a tad. See if Keone Thim can supply some of the energy and spark that he provided the other night in set 3. Here's Van Buren. Dug up by Thim. Rosenthal, high ball to Hakas. High hands and out.
I really want to know how many stories this elevator is, because every time he gets set a high ball, he just keeps elevating and swinging so high over this really big block.
I mean, he is head and shoulders above the tape, and it's Hawaii up 3-1 in the 5th. Welcome back. This is the scene here on an Aloha Friday night. Warrior Ball 24. Tickets issued and announced 5,868 through the turnstile tonight. 5,077. And they have been treated to some free volleyball here as we are in set 5. Tied at 2 sets apiece. Kurt Neusterer serving. Hawaii up 3-1. And he serves it long. That has been a bugaboo for Hawaii all evening. That is their 24th service error, following a match the other night where they only served it out 5 times.
That really impacts the game, because they've pretty much given a set away in points. It makes it very hard to be in a game.
Thim had to extend just to send it over the net. Here's Van Buren, and it was one-on-one, and good luck against Parker Van Buren if you're left to your own devices trying to provide the block.
Parker Van Buren put on the back pad and said, everyone get in. He's doing such a good job for the Rambler. And again, playing incredibly smart. If he hits into the block, it's high off the hands. He's not getting blocked here tonight.
So 3 serving 3. And it is Jake Reed to serve. Good pass there. Rosenthal going outside. Hawkes is blocked. It was Van Buren jumping up next to Meinhardt. And it was a solid front.
That was a really big block here by Van Buren. And again, he's just doing it all tonight. But that set from Tread Rosenthal, a little too low. Again, Spiros Hawkes hitting at such a high point, you can't put it 3 inches over the net.
He puts it way up there this time. And Hawkes catches a body. And Cole Schobel taking one off the dome. And that is no joke with the kind of velocity that these athletes hit with. His teammates go over to make sure he's okay. And he's smiling, his head coach is smiling, but that's not something to laugh about until you know everybody's okay.
Yeah, it really isn't. And again, concussions. Volleyball's not a contact sport, but when you get hit by that ball going that fast, it becomes a contact sport and you can get rocked. So hopefully he's okay. Hopefully we don't see any major injuries or concussions going on right here.
He gets an ovation from the crowd, and they're going to give him some water. They're going to check on him for a hot second. Have you experienced something like that?
I have. Brandon Rattray, again, was at the University of Hawaii, transferred to UCLA, one of the heaviest arms in the country. It's not fun getting hit by a ball that's coming 70, 80 miles an hour. And again, we're talking 6 feet away from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not fun, but I'm glad he's okay and able to stay into the game.
So Schobel back out there. We're tied at 4. It now becomes a race to 11. Rosenthal, that one bounces off the tape and out.
Again, Hawaii just missing way too many service errors, especially in the 5th set where it only goes to 15. You got to play your best volleyball. You can't be giving up points.
Meinhardt with the jump floater. Backside, Hawkes. That was a big windup. And a little extra chili pepper water put on that swing.
I think we're going to see Tread Rosenthal try and find Hawkes as much as possible here in this set. Spiros, again, he's on Hawaii's side, putting the backpack on. Everyone's going to climb in. I think we're going to see his match setting to Spiros and Guilherme Voss whenever it's possible. That's what Hawaii's going to need right now.
Pass that time by Fabikovic, and then the middle set, pinballed around and returned after the swing by Meyer. Backside Van Buren, it was tight to the net, blocked by Thim, and it is punched out. Give Keone Thim the roof.
Again, I think this was the spark that Hawaii needed, bringing Keone Thim. He came in that first night in the 3rd set where they were down by 6 points. He was that energy spark. He was that big-time, fearless swinging spark that Hawaii needed.
Grandson of former Hawaii head coach Mike Wilton. Of course, his uncle Aaron also playing for this program. And yeah, he has become a fan favorite here over the last couple of years. Fabikovic got that one slowed down. Rosenthal going back row. It was a little low for Hawkes, and he crosses the midline. And did he, in fact, fall into the foot of Meyer? Hawkes is slow to get up. Meyer as well appears to be shaken up, and he's reaching down at his left foot.
Yeah, that play a little tight. We kind of see Spiros touching his neck. Hopefully everything's okay. And again, these are just the scary moments in volleyball. We see Spiros come a little bit over the net, lands.
Oh, it was a knee to the neck that time. So he landed, it appeared on the left foot of Meyer. And then the right knee of Meyer in that exchange made contact with Hawkes' neck. And so both players Apparently never worse for wear. Back up and we play on, tied at 6. Pass by Choi is a beauty. Back row, Hakas! He chooses violence.
And again, the theme of the night, you don't find them the first time, set them again. And Trent Rosenthal doing an incredible job. Like we just mentioned plays ago, I think it's going to be the Spiros show from here on out.
He's got 22 kills. Over on 2 goes Schobel, but he hits it long.
It's a little risky play there by Schobel. That set a little bit, that pass a little too far off the net.
And Hawaii gets to 8. And they will swap sides to play out the rest of this 5th set. What a match it has been. It hasn't been the prettiest at every moment. We have seen a lot of disarray from the service line, particularly on the Hawaii side, but we have at times seen, as you would expect from a top 10 matchup, moments of absolute volleyball brilliance, and we are seeing the tension wind up as tight as can be here in an early season 5th set.
We really are, and when both teams are hitting above 300, you have the Ramblers hitting 309 and Hawaii hitting 495. It's pretty incredible, the atmosphere that we're seeing in here. And like you said, not maybe the prettiest, but both teams are scrambling to keep this ball alive.
And Voss sends it out. Loyola Chicago hitting negative 125 here right now in the 5th. Hawaii hitting 444. And yet, just a 1-point separation.
Goes back to that serve-receive game.
26 service errors for Hawaii.
Substitution number 5. Miller Truby from number 60,
Miller Truby checks in for Loyola. There's the serve by Fabakovic. Pass by Hakas is a good one. Middle set, Neusterer! And that is a new career high for Kurt Neusterer with his 8th kill of the match.
And again, Kurt doing an incredible job. He played with so much emotion, so much energy, and so much drive. I think this is what this Hawaii team really needed right now, is that little spark. And you see that chemistry between these 2 young players right there.
9 serving 7, Alakai Todd sends it across. It's a beauty! It's an ace! A 4-1 Rainbow Warrior run. Timeout Loyola. Alakai Todd. What a night he's put together. 11 kills, no errors, and 1 huge ace. 10-7 in favor of Hawaii here in set 5. Trying to go to 2-0 here to start the 2024 season. And Alakai Todd, who just served an ace prior to the timeout, sends it across again. Middle set, and it is hit out by Meyer. No touch. Hawaii up 4.
Everything going into Hawaii's favor right now. They're doing a really good job from the service line, but the Ramblers giving them a couple of points where it's a little too crucial here in the 5th set. Again, only to 15.
Another good serve by Todd. D set. Van Buren! Tim and Neusterer say, ole!
Talk about a best friend connection there. What an incredible block by these 2. And again, Keone Tim pushing 6 feet, is getting up, shoulders over the net, and really pressing. And again, that energy spark Hawaii needed coming into the set.
Providing it again here tonight. And Todd locked in from the service line. Outside, Reed through that block and down. Hawaii Still up by 4 here in the 5th. Good run at the service line by Alaka'i Todd. And again, some Keone Thim magic along the way.
A lot of Keone Thim magic. And again, Hawaii just seems like they're playing with a little bit more energy here early in this 5th set. But Alaka'i Todd providing high quality playing for this team, kind of what they needed.
Well, Lucas Anderson. They say he can hit about 70 miles an hour on the serve. Took a little something off, forces the overpass, and Reed gobbles it up. And the lead is down to 3.
Incredible swing on the overpass. Reed had something to prove on that swing. It blows my mind that he's just a freshman coming in at one of the highest stages.
Pass by Choi. Rosenthal high and away. Thim with the swing. Popped straight up in the air by Fabakovic. The swing by Schobel gets through the block and down. 3 straight Loyola points. And Hawaii will signal for a timeout. The pendulum swinging back the other way. Catch your breath. The conclusion when we return. Welcome back. Lucas Anderson serving out of Manhattan Beach, Loyola High School. His mom, Anne-Marie, was a standout at Hofstra and is now a 3-time Emmy Award-winning broadcaster. I wonder how she'd be calling this one. With Loyola now within 2 in the 5th. High ball set to Thim. 3 blockers up, and he pumps it long. No touch. 4 straight points for the Ramblers. And what was once a 5-point advantage has dwindled down to 1 here for Hawaii.
And again, the Ramblers with 3 true freshmen on the court right now just speaks to the future that this team has.
And Thim shanks it out of bounds. It's an ace. And we're tied. What a comeback, and the spark at the service line this time coming on the Loyola side from Lucas Anderson. And Chaz Galloway will re-enter the match on the Hawaii end.
Hawaii really needs to just settle down on this serve receive. Doing an incredible job, and I think we're seeing those 70-mile-an-hour heaters that his coach was talking about.
Diving pass by Galloway just to keep it in. Here is Todd through the block and down. Are you for real?
What an incredible swing by Todd there. Again, high ball set from Spiros Hakas, not the setter. Does a good job getting his feet to that ball and swinging high so far into the court, finds the hands of the blockers for the ball to go down.
12 kills for Alaka'i Todd with no errors. And Thim back into the match to serve. And just wide. Oh, Thim thought he had it. Tied at 13. It's now a race to 2.
This next point's going to really dictate a lot of what the rest of this set's going to look like.
Schobel, a really tough server as well. Good pass, Thim. Outside, Hakas dug up in the air. It'll be swung on the second touch by Reed, and he gets it down, and Loyola has Aloha ball for the match. Timeout, Rainbow Warriors. It's the Ramblers' first lead in this set since they were up 5-4.
The Ramblers are really not ready to go home. And again, the big standout from this 2 games that we've had here the past week is the defense. Both sides are playing incredible defense, keeping the ball alive. And again, we see right there, one-handed digs, just a step close off the dig. And Reed, the freshman, finding the high hands. They're doing an incredible job on both sides.
I mean, Hawaii led by 5. It was 12-7. And since then, Loyola has unleashed a 7-1 run. I mean, what an extreme turn of events.
We saw Lucas Anderson, freshman, come in, and he went on a 5-service run. That was a really big spark for them. And again, what's impressing me the most with this Ramblers is a lot of freshmen are bringing that energy. They're just playing clean volleyball, and it's been a back-and-forth battle all night from both these teams.
Well, what an Aloha Friday match we had. Kimo Kahuano in his performance of the anthem, and Hawai'i Pono'i was the forerunner of this now 5-set battle that has come down to this. Aloha ball for Loyola Chicago and John Hawks, who has to love the way his team has battled. The crowd trying to play its role. Schobel serving for the match. Pass by Choi is a good one. Outside, Hawkes blocked and roofed, and this one is over. Fittingly, Parker Van Buren was in on that stuff that gives Loyola Chicago the victory in a 5-set marathon that lasted just about 3 hours.
What an incredible performance here tonight by the Ramblers. And I think everyone in the gym knew where that last set was going.
20 kills for Parker Van Buren, hit 410 on the night, 4 blocks, 4 aces. And one of those blocks, obviously, the deciding point. On the other side for Hawaii, they had a number of really strong individual performances. The service errors will be part of the discussion for sure. But 22 kills for Spiros Hawkes, 2 off of his career high. A career high performance by Kurt Neustor with his 8 kills. Alakai Todd was magnificent. 12 kills, no errors, hit 545. But in the end, the Ramblers 2 points better.
Hawaii, really what hurt them here tonight was that serving game. All their hitters hit above 500, except Chaz Galloway was a little bit quiet, hitting 269. And again, when you give up over 25 service points, you're already giving 1 set away. It becomes very hard.
Got to mention G. Voss and his 11 kills, no errors, hit 846 for the match. Bank of Hawaii presents the players of the match. Again, there were several to choose from, but the standout performers were the 2 highest profile guys coming in. Van Buren with the 20 kills, 410, 3 blocks, 4 service aces. They actually have him listed at 4 blocks officially in the stats that we've been provided. And Spiros Hawkes with the 22 kills, hit 500, 2 blocks, 7 digs, and 2 service aces, but couldn't get past that wall on that last attempted swing. And so a hard-fought battle, and the Ramblers earned this one, James.
They really did. And again, if this is the beginning of the 2024 season for NCAA volleyball, I'm excited to see what goes forward. Hawaii has a lot of work to do ahead, and I think John Hawks is excited to see this new team for the Ramblers that he has moving forward into this 2024 season.
Again, the night ends with Hawaii having totaled 27 service errors 2 nights after they recorded just 5 in the 3-set sweep on Wednesday. Let's send it over to Scott Robbs.
Well, Coach, early season growing pains we saw here tonight?
Yeah, I was asked in the press conference last night how to evaluate, and it's like patient. We're going to have to be patient. We're very much a work in progress. We think we got a lot of good pieces to be not only good, but the best team at the end. And, we offensively at times we were really, really good, but serving got a little neurotic there at times. And I just think that's where we're at. You know what I'm saying? It's a long season. That's a really good team that was playing really well. We got a couple guys that are out, hurt and stuff. I think when we get all of our guys healthy, we'll be good. So that was, it was a fun match, really competitive, and wish we would have pulled it out, but did not.
One guy that kind of impressed me this weekend, because we haven't seen a lot of him throughout his career, Alakai Todd.
Yeah, airless tonight. Really played, their opposites, All-American, really good player, and Alakai was right there toe-to-toe with no errors, attacking all night. That's really promising for us going forward.
All right, Charlie, best of luck. We'll see you next week.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Kanoa.
Thanks a lot, Scott. So Hawaii and Loyola Chicago, they start their respective seasons with a 1-1 record. But this is why you play these tough matches early, right? To kind of see what you have, to evaluate your talent, and to see what you need to improve here going forward. They are actually going to be giving out the Big West Championship rings to the players here right now on the floor. And so perhaps a bit of a bittersweet moment for the Rainbow Warrior players individually. But I'll give you the last thought here before we toss it to the postgame, James.
It's always good to kind of get this pain out of the way. It's good to get a loss in early in the season because it's a feeling you kind of want to drag in moving forward. And again, a fairly new Hawaii team. We lost a lot of big pieces for this team, and they're going to have to grow. A lot of these players only know win, 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 and they've been on a winning. So it's always good to remember what the feeling of losing like, to go into the gym and work that extra hard. But again, we saw a lot of really good tools, a lot of great pieces. It's a team that needs some work, but all the pieces are there. But hats off to this incredible Ramblers team. John Hogg's done an incredible job with them. And it was an exciting week of volleyball for week 1.
More volleyball coming next week when Emmanuel comes to town. We will be here. Don't forget about the post-game show. Are you running over there for that as well?
See you guys on that side.
It's a long night for James Anastasiadis, so I won't say goodnight on his behalf, but I'm Kanoa Leahy, and until next time, we bid you aloha from Manoa.
I've always had a love for anything local. Ever since I was a child visiting my grandma's lace shop, I felt a deep connection to the local shopkeepers, local artisans, and local farmers who make Hawaii so unique and so special. Today, I'm grateful to have a job helping Bank of Hawaii and its employees give back to our local communities. I'm Momiya Kimsu from Bank of Hawaii, and I'm proud to help you live your happy.
Taco Bell is so good and so cheap. No, right? I wonder why. What if they know we're broke? What if they're trying to be the good guys?
Yeah. Thanks, Taco Bell!
You're watching Spectrum Sports.
At JN Group, we believe life could be a whole lot sweeter if you never pumped gas again.
Life sounds like I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive.
It's time to go electric, and nobody has more EVs in stock than JN Group. You won't just save thousands on your new EV, you'll save so much more because you'll never pay at the pump again. Embrace the future today at JN Group. Test drive an EV, and you'll agree. Now this is living.
I'm alive.
Hi, it's me, Anthony Sullivan. And yes, you've actually caught me at home relaxing because life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with American Residential Warranty. You won't believe what ARW covers. Heating and air conditioning, washers and dryers, kitchen appliances, plumbing, water heaters, electrical systems, flat screens and laptops, even pools and spas, and so much more. Call American Residential Warranty. They'll get you covered.
1-800-910-2403.
Thursday, the University of Hawaii takes on the UC Irvine Anteaters from the Big West Conference. Rainbow Warrior Basketball, only on Spectrum Sports.
Highlights Hawaii, Loyola Chicago, night number 2. We start off with the Warriors opposite Alakai Todd, who was airless on 22 swings on the night, put down 12 kills for a .545 hitting percentage. How about G. Voss, Giliarmi Voss, again, outstanding Hawaii. Going to the middle more here this evening, Voss, 13 swings, 11 kills, no errors, throwing a couple of aces and a couple of blocks. And of course, Sparrows Hawkins leading the way offensively for Hawaii. Hawkins with a match-high 22 kills. He hit an even .500 from the left side. He also had some assists, but on the other side, Daniel Fabikovic. Fabikovic, 13 kills, 24 swings, hit .417. He also had a block, and then the story, the first-team All-American from a year ago, struggled a bit in Wednesday night's match, did not here tonight. Parker Van Buren, 20 big kills, 4 service aces, 4 blocks, hit .410. He was all over the place, and the Ramblers shocked the Warriors in 5.
From Spectrum Sports, it's the Hawaii Honda Dealers post-game show.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for sticking around on this Aloha Friday. Scott, James, and Kanai. Are you all right, James?
I'm doing all right.
You got your breath? It's been a long night for you.
We got teleportation devices now.
Yes, they do. It's a long night for Hawaii, but I got to go back to what Kanai has been talking about, the serving, passing game. And, you know, Hawaii's really made their mark the last 4 or 5 years with their serving. Tonight, 27 service errors. I don't remember the last time they had 27 service errors. That's more than a match worth of mistakes.
Absolutely. Very uncharacteristic night for Hawaii, but testament to Loyola's grit, determination, coming back from a not-so-good serving night last night and putting the ball in at 86% tonight. Right? Loyola actually lost the hitting percentage battle, hitting only .310 to Hawaii's .470. That's incredible that Loyola was able to win this match at only .310 to .470, but that goes to show how important that serve and pass is.
And I think in a lot of ways, I don't agree that a loss is good early in the season. I don't think any loss is good, James. But I think a loss like this is something that you can build on. And talking to Charlie before we did that interview, he seemed totally fine.
Yeah, no, I think a loss this early on in the season, especially with a new team, people that come into such a successful program, it's a really big reminder that it's not easy to be successful.
Exactly.
It's not easy at all. And you play what was ranked the 10th team in the country. The Ramblers are a pretty phenomenal team, and I think they're going to have an incredible season. It's not easy to get by even just playing the 10th top team in the country. You have to work hard. You're going to have to show up every game. And again, the NCAA is growing. It's up to that night how well you're going to play.
And I think we've all gotten kind of spoiled, obviously, with this program. Hawaii doesn't lose very often, and they definitely don't lose very often here at Stan Sheriff Center. But what do you take away from tonight's match in terms of a positive for Hawaii?
One positive that I think we all saw tonight is Alakai Todd, right? Hitting .545 with 12 kills, 0 errors. This is a guy who's been in the practice gym for 6 years, has had time to grow, develop that confidence. And this year, talking about confidence, the coaches have full confidence in him, right? That allows him to have full confidence in himself.
Yeah, and again, he's played it behind some of the top oppos that's come out of the country. Rado Parapunov his first couple of years, and then behind Dimitris Mukhlias the rest couple of the years. He's learned so much from them, and I know that Rado's big inspiration to him. And I was actually just talking to him, and he said that Alakai Todd's about to have an incredible season from what he's seen so far.
Another thing I thought that was a positive from Wednesday, and Hawaii won in 3 on Wednesday, to tonight was that they were able to get to the middles more often. We saw Voss and Nusserer getting involved more offensively. I know that was one thing Charlie wanted to see, and Tread Rosenthal was able to do that.
Absolutely. Tread Rosenthal did a great job setting that middle tonight. Voss hitting .846, 11 kills on 13 attempts, and then Kurt hitting .636 on 8 kills. And we even saw Rosenthal going to the pick more, setting up Chaz and Spiros. And Chaz and Spiros are almost better on that big play, if not better, than that outside play. So that middle pick is going to be key for Hawaii going forward.
It's also been one of their staples, so it's really exciting to see Tread really bringing that out tonight and continuing that really big weapon that Hawaii has had. They hit one of the best bigs in the country. Again, we kind of saw Spiros, a little bit of a scary play there, but they are leaping little over 10 feet almost when they're hitting those balls. And again, I think this Hawaii team, they have a little bit of growth. Tread Rosenthal, we see him there. Remember, he's only 17 years old. Might have not had the best night tonight, but his future is very bright.
On the other side, you got to give a ton of credit to Loyola Chicago. Hawaii came out and kind of took it to them in that opening set. They never gave up tonight, and when they needed to make the plays, every time they made it.
Absolutely. If we just look at the set scores here, Hawaii won 25-18, and then Loyola wins 25-22. Hawaii blows them out the next set, 25-18, and then 25-23, right? And then 15-13 in that fifth set. So Loyola got it done when they needed to. And credit to Parker Van Buren with 20 kills tonight. Just keeping it simple. He touches about 12 feet, maybe higher, right? So just hitting high, hard, that's all he needed to do. It was great to see him tonight.
And Schobel, the setter. He got it to the guys he needed to when it counted.
Schobel was fearless tonight, and I think he was fearless the 2 nights that he was able to play. He comes in and he kind of has that swagger to him where he's just like, I'm going to do me and I'm going to trust that whatever it is, it works. And he had a very impressive play there in the in the 5th set, high ball set from the middle of the court. He just gets up and rips it. That set almost hit the Jumbotron, but the full confidence. And the exciting thing for the Ramblers, and I think for them moving forward in the next couple seasons, there was a time where they had 3 freshmen on the court. They were down 13-11, and Matt goes on a 4-5 service run to bring them back into the game and up 14-13 against one of the top teams in the country. The future for them is bright.
Yeah, no question about it. It's bright for Hawaii as well. Let's take a look at the final numbers as we get ready to head to break and bring in a special guest. You look at the numbers and particularly the hitting percentage, you go, gosh, Hawaii hit that high and they didn't win. It's the little things here and there, particularly when you look at the very bottom category, service errors. Loyola did a better job cutting down on their service errors from 2 nights ago, and Hawaii struggled in that aspect, even though they had 11 service aces. So Loyola Chicago beats Hawaii in 5. We'll take a break, and a Rainbow Warrior will join us here in the corner.
Welcome back to the Hawaii Honda Dealers post-game show.
And welcome back to the corner. Hawaii falls in 5 tonight to number 10, Loyola Chicago. Of course, the early season rankings are just the preseason rankings. These things will change throughout the season, but a tough defeat for the University of Hawaii. But a great weekend, I thought, for this guy, Alakai Todd. You have bided your time, young man. 6th year, haven't seen a lot of action. You're getting the starting nod here. And I thought you played very well Wednesday night and even extremely well here tonight. 12 kills, no hitting errors. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, before I start with that, I'd just like to throw a huge shout out to all the fans who came out tonight, because without you guys, we wouldn't be able to make it that far. And I just want to thank our coaching staff for getting us ready for this game. We've got a lot of work to put in the practice gym, get better. And to my teammates for cheering us on and for helping us win some of those sets. We'll get them next time for that.
Talk about your hard work, though, and to get from where you're at to now being the starter.
Oh, it's been a long journey. Yeah. First off, we started off at Punahou with Kanai. We've been battling for the same spot at Punahou. And then after that, then just working day in and day out, getting extra reps in at the gym, in the weight room, in the practice gym, serving reps, just trying to get better, hit higher, hit harder. That's about it.
Speaking of the Punahou days, right, you've been playing beach for a long time too, and we see that come out in your game sometimes. You mainly are just attacking high and hard, and then you catch the defense off with that roll shot every now and then, right? Can you talk a little bit about how the beach game sort of translates into your indoor game?
Yeah, so I do actually play a lot of beach here and there. Recently, I played the Daddy. Kanai got 2nd place in the Daddy, so shout out to him. Losing to our classmate Ryan Wilcox, but it's all right. Me and Kanai won 2 tournaments before that. We were playing beach, and just having that extra dimension of volleyball and being able to play the full game just really helps with like defense and just knowledge of spatial awareness when you're on the court for blocking and hitting and just roll shots, man.
So this is kind of the 2nd year in a row where there's a couple big changes for the team. What's a couple of like the mindsets going into this season, maybe for a couple of veterans, you being one of them, but also having to like fill in, big shoes, but you're doing an incredible job at it as well. So kind of what's been the conversation chemistry-wise, going into the season and these past 2 days?
Yeah, so chemistry-wise, just trying to keep everybody in and keep everybody with high energy, but at the same time with like that same calm demeanor that you want to have when you're trying to play well, Focus, intensity.
What would you take away from this weekend in terms of maybe the number one thing you guys as a collective group, as a team, need to work on before next week?
I think one of the big things that kind of threw us back from our game on Wednesday was our serving. We had a really good serving night, very consistent. It may have not been the hardest serves on Wednesday, but just getting those serves in and keeping the other team at bay, I think is what really helped us. So just focusing on that and then blocking, more touches, more digs, everything.
All right, before we cut you loose, you're a local boy, so you want to give a shout out to anybody, your family, your friends, cousins, brothers, anybody like that watching?
Oh, gosh. I don't want to miss anyone, but
Well, you don't have to say everybody.
shout out to everyone, but especially to my immediate family, mom, dad, Tutu, I know you're watching at home. Love you guys. And Grandma Betsy, my girlfriend's grandma.
Awesome. Hey, Alakai, congratulations. Keep up the great work. I'm sure we'll have you back here again sometime this season.
Hopefully.
All right, Alakai Todd, our guest here in the corner. Unfortunately, the Rainbow Warriors fall in 5 to Loyola Chicago.
From Spectrum Sports, it's the Hawaii Honda Dealers post-game show.
Well, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule now that the opening weekend matches are coming up on Wednesday. A pair of matches against Emmanuel out of Coastal Carolina Conference, and they're from Georgia, so that'll be a Wednesday, Friday matchup. And then Hawaii will head to the Midwest for some matches against other MIVA teams like Loyola Chicago was before returning home to take on Tusculum. So that's what's coming up for the Rainbow Warriors. And, we are so spoiled that I think a lot of people, I was telling you guys, when Loyola blocked that final point, I was sitting over here, and everybody just sat there, didn't know how to react. They didn't know, should we get up to cheer? Do we get up to leave? I mean, it just doesn't happen very often.
It really is. I think tonight was a big reminder that these players are human. You know, like you said, we've been spoiled the past 4 years. It's very rare that they lose at home, let alone, I don't think the fans are used to seeing, maybe a number 10th ranked opponent being the ones that's going to defeat the Rainbow Warriors. But again, that Ramblers team was a very good team. I'd put them even in the top 6 teams in the country. And again, we still have a lot to see. It's only week 1. This team has a lot of work to do, and it's always good to get that loss out of the way.
The thing I took away, Kanai, though, everything is correctable. And I think the biggest thing here tonight were the service errors. And that will be corrected because Hawaii has shown that that is one of their strengths. You cut down on the service errors. The offense, I thought, worked efficiently. They hit 460-something. It's just minor tweaks here and there.
Absolutely. I think it was just a mindset thing tonight. And going forward, right, we see the potential that this Hawaii team has. There are plays that really just make us stop and go, wow, that is amazing, right? And then there's those not so good plays. So it's kind of these high and lows that Coach Wade has been talking about that comes with this lack or this less experienced team than we're used to, right? So it's really good for them, win or lose, to go through these 5-set match, especially early in the season, kind of build that resiliency, build that experience for a newer team, and it'll be good for them in the long term.
And again, I think the big thing that we haven't seen in a while is a freshman starting setter.
Sure.
Both setters, Joe Worsley played behind Jennings Franciscovich for a year or two before he earned that starting spot. He had a lot of work to do. Jakob Tella was behind Joe Worsley for 2-3 years. He had a lot of work to do. This is the first year in close to a decade where we have a freshman starter, let alone a kid who should have been in high school. It's a way different game when you get to the collegiate level, and you'll hear every coach say it. It's a faster tempo. It's a faster speed of game. And again, I think for his first weekend, he did an incredible job, but there's some chemistry to be worked on there.
I think the fun part is going to be watching this team develop throughout the season because they're going to be really good, I think, by the end of the year. It's only week 1.
Totally. And you know what? These next few games against Emmanuel, Tusculum, they'll allow the coaching staff to play the sort of the role players, the bench players who haven't gotten as much opportunity, right? And that just makes your whole team better, right? Everyone gets more confidence in the practice gym. You're competing against each other, pushing each other harder. That's going to be good for this Hawaii team as well.
Kanai, did you have fun this weekend?
I had a blast. I hope I can be back with you guys.
I hope so, too. You were awesome, my man. You did a great job, and that'll wrap things up for us here on this Aloha Friday. James has to go to bed. Special thanks to our terrific, outstanding Spectrum Sports crew who always are nothing but #1. And for my broadcast partners, good night, and James, I'm Scott. Until next time, we bid you aloha and a good evening from Simplify Arena at Stan Sheriff Center in Manoa. From Simplify Arena at Stan Sheriff Center, where it's a rematch Friday as the third-ranked University of Hawaii Rainbow Warriors play host once again to the 10th ranked Ramblers of Loyola Chicago, and this is Game On, presented by Bank of Hawaii for Rainbow Warrior Volleyball. Hi everybody, happy Aloha Friday. Scott Robbs, Kana'ikana, James Anastasiadis will join us in a moment, and of course this is opening weekend for Warrior Ball 24, and things got underway 2 nights ago right here at Simplify Arena. Stan, Sheriff Center, Hawaii, Loyola Chicago, and the Rainbow Warriors coming out victorious with a 3-set sweep over the Ramblers. There you see the numbers. Hawaii out-hit the Ramblers, out-dug the Ramblers, and out-served Loyola Chicago as well. So let's take a look at some of the highlights from that match. We start off with Parker Van Buren, the first-team All-American a year ago for Loyola Chicago. Led the way with 9 kills, but struggled hitting percentage-wise as Hawaii held him to an .094 hitting percentage. One thing about Loyola we noticed right away, they're big, and they are super big, and they are aggressive and physical at the net. They outblocked Hawaii 10 blocks in the 3-set loss to UH by the Ramblers as they gave Hawaii all kind of trouble. It also was the debut of the 17-year-old freshman Trent Rosenthal as the setter for Hawaii, replacing Jakob Tella, the reigning NCAA Player of the Year. Rosenthal, not only outstanding setting the ball, but serving as well. And how about Ileo Choi? The Ferreton graduate has been waiting and biding his time, and he came up big time in Wednesday's victory. A career-high 15 digs for Choi in the victory. And then, of course, leading the way for Hawaii was Spittles Hawkes. Hawkes, kind of like the, unofficial leader of this year's team. Hawkes with a match-high 16 kills from his left side position. And there you see Hawkes with the block as well. Hawkes involved throughout the match, helping Hawaii pick up the win. And Hawaii now 1-0 to start the season. So Kana'i, 2 nights ago, the debut, we kind of weren't sure what to expect. I don't know if any of us expected a sweep, but what were your thoughts or your analysis of Hawaii on night 1?
Well, I thought overall Hawaii had a great game, right? Statistically, a fairly average match for Hawaii in terms of their historical previews, right? But Alakai Todd, Eleu Choi, all the new faces that we're not used to seeing. Not statistically great match, but played with so much confidence, so much energy, and really just not letting the ball hit the floor, right? 43 digs for Hawaii, 15 digs for Eleu Choi, averaging 5 digs a set, right? We could feel the energy of a home opener, the grit, the determination. So overall, I thought Hawaii had a great first night.
High expectations for the young setter, Trent Rosenthal. Much has been made about the fact that he should be in high school right now, graduated earlier. Big spotlight, obviously. I'm sure he felt some butterflies. How do you think he performed?
So I think he really cooled down after that first set, got calm, collected his offense, and started getting everyone going efficiently. I think tonight we're going to see a little bit better connection between him and his middles, right? First night, still getting into the groove of things. I think we can expect him to get the middles going, but definitely a great player, definitely someone that has the potential to fill in for the shoes of Jakob Telle.
Well, as we all know, serving passing is the key to victory every night. For Loyola Chicago, it was their opening match as well. And really, that's what was the difference, was Hawaii won the serving passing. Ramblers with 14 service errors. John Hawks, we talked to him a little while ago, says we got to cut down on our service errors.
Absolutely, and that might be a little bit of nerves, right? This is probably the most electric arena to play in the nation, right? So a very new, unexperienced Loyola team. We see their potential. They're ripping balls in service lines before the game, right? So we can expect them to serve a little bit better tonight and give Hawaii a closer challenge tonight.
Yeah, I think we're all looking forward to this one as well. Still trying to figure out this Hawaii team and trying to figure out what Loyola Chicago will bring here on a Friday night. Well, the 2 gentlemen that will be calling the action are courtside. We throw it over to them. It's Kanoa and James.
That's right, James Anastasiadis. I'm Kanoa Leahy, and first off, good to have you here sitting courtside and borrowing you for the night here from the Corner Crew, James. But I wanted to get your take, your reaction to what you saw from this Hawaii team on opening night a couple of evenings ago.
I think it's probably what the people expected. A little bit of nerves, especially in that first set. There is a lot of chemistry to be built with this fairly new Hawaii team. We have 3 returning starters, but then we also have 3 new players on team, one of them being a 17-year-old who should be a senior in high school, Trent Rosenthal, and then two guys that have been waiting 6 years, if not 5 years, for this opportunity to be in that starting lineup, Eleo Choi and Alakai Todd. You know, even though they're veterans, they've played against some of the top players in that practice gym for multiple years. There is a different nerve that you get when you in that starting lineup inside a game where every point counts. I think the chemistry is going to build for this Hawaii team. And then for Loyola, for a fairly young team that they are, they did an incredible job. But playing in the Stan Sheriff Center, like Kanai said, it's one of the most electric places in the country to play. We saw a little bit of nerves, but generally speaking, teams that come in here play way better the second night. I expect Loyola to come out fearless tonight, a lot more confidence, and I think we're in for a very exciting match tonight.
You mentioned Eleo Choi, and we showed that close-up shot of him. He provided a certain spark, and some of the reaction of the crowd to the plays that he was making, even just the sheer effort on some attempted plays, it was different. Talk about what he brought to that match the other night.
Hello, just like you said, just brought so much energy, and something that you'd expect from a top-level libero is to go for everything regardless whether he thinks he can dig it or not. And I think that's what we saw out of Eleo Choi last night. He ended with 17 digs, which is incredible for the first night opener. But what may have gone unnoticed, not a lot of balls went past him hitting the ground. He at least got a hand on everything and made it very frustrating for the Ramblers hitters to try and score.
Now, on the other side, the Ramblers did get a little bit of a boost. Look out, James, ball coming in there. The Ramblers did get a little bit of a boost themselves from their freshman setter, Cole Schobel. This is a guy who is from Southern California, and he almost looks a little bit like a left-handed Joe Worsley or something out there. But in that third set, he was able to help build that lead for Loyola Chicago that at one time was 7 points. Hawaii, of course, was able to sport that fantastic comeback. But what do you think this offense is going to look like here tonight with the expectation that he will start at the setter position?
I think Schobel had a much better connection with their hitters, but let alone he's also very offensive on the net, and he adds that for this Ramblers team. It's going to keep Hawaii's blockers on their toes a little bit more. And what I loved about Schobel, regardless being a freshman, growing up on the beach in Newport, probably played a lot of beach volleyball, he is fearless. He came out here and he looks, you would not tell he's a freshman the way he played last night. Coming in and adding 5 kills, but also running a very good offense with the Ramblers. It's really hard to tell that he came in as a freshman.
Hanaho rematch coming up of 2 top 10 teams. We will have first serve for you, but we'll send it back over to the corner crew. And you know what? They look a little lonely, the two of them. So James, why don't you head over there and you can help them finish this pregame. That's right. All right, we'll see you in a bit.